Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Hivemind Recap Podcast. May 2022 is in the books. We got some more fantastic music to talk about, like usual. 3 albums, a new EP, and a bunch of fantastic singles. I'm here with Justin, Derek, and Jacob, as per usual, to talk about it all. Our favorites, maybe our least favorites, and everything in between. How we feeling tonight, fellas?
Feeling good. I got my 7 p.m. Nitro Brew coffee. I can't wait to be awake for the next 7 hours.
What is Nitro Brew?
Or Nitro Cold Brew? It's
just coffee with nitrogen.
Confusing.
Oh, is that really what it is? I didn't even know that's what the nitro stood for. I just thought it meant it had more caffeine in it.
Yeah, no, literally, it's just coffee that's brewed with nitrogen.
Yeah,
So
it's more. It's a lot more.
Nitro have nitrogen in it?
Yes, it makes your Discord more foamy.
No, Derek's actually just drinking pure nitrous oxide.
Yeah, I'm gonna be dead by single number 3. So you got me. You got me for the first 3.
He's just like gonna be a car. It's gonna be blasting off.
Yup. Now,
like tires burn out.
Yeah, exactly.
Richmond.
I mean, wow! I've just been doxxed live on the podcast, guys. It's over. Someone's gonna come find me now. Now, yeah, true. Yeah, it's gonna be Justin. He's gonna show me. Why weren't you at the show? And be like, oh, fuck. Joke's on you. I moved. You don't know where I am anymore. I moved solely to get away from Justin.
I respect it. I respect it.
Rude.
That's commitment.
Jacob said he had a question for us, and I'm literally terrified to hear what it is.
I'm always terrified.
He's from Canada, so yeah, fair.
It actually has something to do with that, Jake.
Perfect.
So, I learned, wasn't this week, like last week,
Mm-hmm.
that we have words that you guys don't. And
What?
I'm curious if you guys know what this is.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of a duotang?
No.
What the fuck is that?
Oh my god.
I've heard it before. I don't remember the context of why I heard it, but I've definitely
A
heard it.
duotang?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know those folders with the little metal.
You gotta be
bits?
making shit up at this point. Yeah, I know what those are. Are you seriously?
What
Those
do you
are called
call them?
duotangs in Canada? Folders, like a fucking normal person.
There's little metal nubs in them.
Okay, so call them hanging file folders.
No,
literally what
they're
we call
called
it here.
duotangs.
Duotang? They're smoking some fresh shit up in Canada. I don't know. Somebody took a fucking fat chief and was like, he looked down, he's like, fuck, bro, duotang. And like, that's the only explanation I can think of. Somebody had to be high as hell looking at a folder to call it a fucking duotang.
All right, so
It sounds like somebody from the inner city's trying to say do a thing, bro. I'm a duotang, you feel me? Like what?
No, I don't feel you.
You don't feel me? Oh,
Don't want to
shit.
feel you.
Oh, Justin.
do you want me to derail this conversation at all?
Always.
Derail it
I
from...
figured,
Yes.
I figured after the Rivals episode where I was literally bullied.
Oh, you had to come back and be like, you guys don't know what I...
Like Haley, that was
and
funny.
school you guys.
He's coming back swinging with the duotang, bro.
Before I get into my point, we did an after hours. We did 2 after hours episodes last month. Go check them out with Saving Vice and Rivals. My point was that I think Connecticut has a similar thing of weird wording of a thing. So when you guys go out to get a sandwich, it's just a sandwich, right?
Yeah.
Like from Subway, it's just a sandwich, right?
Oh, don't
Yeah.
tell me you got some weird shit about a sandwich.
Yeah, apparently, I don't exactly eat sandwiches from Subway or anything like that because I'm a fucking freak. But they're called grinders up here.
Uh-huh.
What in the fresh fuck? The only grinder I know is like the gay dating app, bro. I don't know. I'm gonna go to Subway to hook up with my local single gay man, bro. It feels like one of those. You know how like the Starbucks is like the secret menu items. That's what it feels like. It's like you go to Subway and you ask for a grinder and then you wink at them. And they pull out like a line of gay people from the back and you get to pick.
Here, I just brought up the Google quote real quick. What is a grinder in Connecticut? If a New Englander doesn't call the sandwich a sub, they call it a grinder.
We just
Factually
call it a
correct.
hoagie here.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
sandwich,
Yeah,
sub,
I've-
hoagie. Never heard grinder before. That's got me
Welcome to
fucked up.
Connecticut. Or, I mean, you're still in Virginia, so I don't know.
Derek, I'm just beginning to learn that, surprisingly enough, New England and Connecticut are two completely different places and are not on this earth.
Connecticut exists on its own plane. Like, it's just there.
Yeah. Not entirely wrong.
I don't know, bro. Because my dad's like from Maine. Like, I've got family from the Northeast, and there is just not one single person I have ever heard call a sub a grinder.
Just Connecticut things, I guess.
Just Connecticut things, yeah, for sure.
Anyway, do we want to start talking about some music?
Looping back to...
I
Do we have
want to
any
talk
tangents?
about... Did any of you guys see any shows this month?
No. I was gonna go see Thousand Below, but that was the same time as our Kelly
Did
Kaylee
I?
Wolf episode.
I did.
Rival.
I saw Dance Gavin Dance with Memphis Mayfire Volumes and Moontooth.
How was Bend?
Bend was euphoric. I was fucking drunk by the time Volumes came on. Like, I mean, I was vibing because my friend, we pre-gamed at a bar nearby, and he kept buying me shots. And I was like, no, I don't want him. He's like, no, bro, you got to do it. So he bought me like 5 shots before we got there, or something like that. He bought me a beer and a couple shots. And then we got to the venue, and I paid $20 for a Long Island iced tea, which was fucking outrageous. And then I drank like 4. So by the time Bend was coming on, I was messy, bro.
You were fucked financially and mentally.
Yo, I was...
And physically, arguably?
Yeah, and physically. But no, I ran into some friends from high school at the show. And I mean, the Volumes just in general put on an amazing show. I got to hop in the pit for FBX and Malevolent. Memphis Mayfire sounded incredible live. That riff in Blood and Water hits just as hard live as it did, in studio. And I mean, Dance Gavin Dance is just incredible as usual. It really helps now that all the shows I've seen from them since the first one I went to, same venue, actually 4 years ago today. I wasn't really super, I just gotten into them type of thing. I didn't know all the old songs, but now we're at the point where I just know every song on the set list. So that's always a really cool experience to know like every word to every song the band is playing, just be able to go for it. I was drunk and vibing and having a great time. I've had really good shows between that and seeing Until I Wake and Conquer Divide in April. And I'm seeing Stand Atlantic and With Confidence this Friday, so. Oh,
that's gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited.
Jacob, are you going to Starsight this month?
It is not this month for me.
Okay. I have it on the 24th, so I might be going. Just because I want to see Divide the Fall and Red live. But Starsight has also puts on like fucking phenomenal shows from what I've seen.
I should be going to a show this month, but I'm fucking not.
Because you're too busy celebrating your birth.
Yeah, quit doing that shit. Go see live music.
I'm gonna be on vacation celebrating my birthday, and you're telling me I'm missing out on Memphis Mayfire, Rain City Drive, and Wolves at the Gate all in one night on my birthday. I'm fucking pissed.
We don't get shit here.
We don't get shit, bro.
I bought my tickets for that today.
Aw, lucky. You know what Virginia gets? I could have gone to Virginia Beach on Friday and seen fucking Johnny Craig. That's what I've got. I've got Johnny Craig in Virginia Beach.
In September, though, you get The Score.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to go see my favorite band, The Score. Oh, boy.
It'd be like that.
This month I saw Bad Flower.
Ooh, how was that?
It was really interesting. It wasn't in, like, normally I go to Toronto to see shows, but it wasn't in Toronto. It was, like, out of Toronto in, like, a smaller city. And it was really interesting because the crowd was like really tiny, and so like the mosh pit was like the most gentle mosh pit I've ever seen. Yeah, it was.
That's kind of convincing me to get into Bad Flower more. I'd be down for a gentle mosh pit as my first
gentle mosh pit. It's got me thinking about like a touch flag football. Like they've got 2 fingers like gently pushing somebody across the pit, and it's like,
oh hell yeah,
Red Rover.
Yeah, it was literally like maybe a total of 5s, and me and my friend also tried to join in to make it a little more rowdy, but it didn't really get that far. 5 people.
I like that you're the only guy throwing hands in the Bad Flower pit. Everybody else is
like throwing hands.
Spin kick somebody in the head. Like,
But yeah, that was an interesting experience because I haven't been to like I've only been to like rock or metal concerts recently. I guess I went to see Dayseeker, but still, it's still same crowd. This was
they just
completely
act
for
different.
me. Yeah, the crowd is totally different. It's really interesting.
I don't know. I think, especially having, I was just gonna say, having seen the 1975 like 3 years ago, it really is just like a different experience entirely, and I almost don't like it. Like I like the energy of the crowds at metal shows too much at this point. I think. Like once I experience that, I've got a bunch of like these teenage white girls just standing in the pit, and like I don't know, it had me fucked up. I didn't like it. I mean, the show was good, obviously, but that energy, it's just a different
went
energy.
to see. I forget who it was, but my sisters went to see some like indie folk artist in New York a couple months ago, and it was like they were in like the balcony area in the seats. There's these two like teenage girls sitting in front of them talking over the entire show, and my sister tapped on their shoulder to be like, "Hey, can you quiet down? I want to hear the music." And they turned around, and I swear to God, this is word for word. The girl in front of my sister said, "I'm sorry, but I don't subscribe to that."
What? I would have started a one-man pit right then and there and just like launched
like one-man
pit.
My sister had it on, like, I'm pretty sure my sister has it on video too of this girl saying that exact phrase, and I was, what the fuck?
My mouth would just be wide. I'd be like, I mean, how do you respond to that?
Exactly. You don't.
I'd have been. You know what? If I'm not going to hear the music because they're talking, I may as well not hear it because I got kicked out. Committed assault in the balcony, bro. Nobody's telling me they don't subscribe. Fuck that. Absolutely not. My one-man pit coming in swinging.
All right.
Should we talk about some music?
Let's do socials first. If you want to follow us on social media, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at HiveMindRadio_. Follow us on Spotify, Hivemind Radio Recap. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Hivemind Radio, and you can catch us live at the beginning of every month, doing these monthly recaps live. You can chat with us, hang out with us, and all that. The playlist link for this month's recap will be in the description of the live stream and in the episode on Spotify and Anchor and everywhere else. So if you want to see the playlist of everything we're discussing tonight, be sure to check that out. So let's start from the top then.
Before we start, you had mentioned it a little bit earlier, but we did get 2 After Hours episodes with Saving Vice, who you guys should definitely go support right now because they're going through some shit because fuck Lausanne and
their van broke down.
And their van broke down at the same time, so it's just bad timing. And then we also had one with Rivals, so go check those out. Okay, Jake, now you can get on with your funny business.
Now we can start from the top, yeah?
Yeah?
Yes.
All right. 1,000 Below have dropped a brand new song, Venenosa. Jacob, one of the few songs you added to the playlist this month. Start us off here.
I cannot think of another band that has 0 bad song. I think 1,000 Below is literally the only band that has 0 bad songs.
Are you like pausing for approval?
Yes.
Okay. I would agree, but I don't think all their songs are great. You see what I'm saying? I think they don't have a single bad song. I just don't like a lot of them.
I think I'm in the same boat as Derek here. Because I still only have half of that 2019 album in my playlist at this point. And
my least favorite song by them, I think, is Chemical. But then the acoustic version with vocalist from what's that band? Dead Lakes.
Oh yeah.
Is perfection.
It's perfection.
Perfection. But this song, they got heavy again, and I love it.
I'm in the opposite boat. I don't like heavy 1,000 Below. I like Gone in Your Wake style 1,000 Below. I'm very much a lost between Alone Out of My Head type of thing. I like when they're leaning into the vibier side of post-hardcore rather than like maybe the heavier side. And it's not that this is bad, and I think it's an interesting direction to like make the heavy album and then make a softer album, and now we're getting kind of heavy again. You know, it feels like we kind of had a dip, but I don't know. I think this is probably going to be one of those songs where I hear it and I'm like indifferent and I leave it alone, and then I hear it in the context of the album and I love it. I've had a lot of those this year, and this one, it has the potential.
I had a very quick turnaround on the song because day one when I first heard this song, I like as soon as that like heavy bridge in the middle of the song came on, I was like completely taken out of the song. Like this is Thousand Below going too heavy for me, similar to when I was first trying to get into the band back in 2018, 2019, when you first showed them to me, Jacob, and I was just like, nah, this band's not it for me. But then like I listened to it again the next day and I'm like, wait, this song kind of goes. I don't know what changed in that 24-hour period, but something clicked with me in the chorus and all of the non-heavy parts.
I love the chorus.
That made me go like, okay, you know, this heavy part isn't that bad. And I think it probably has to do with how I feel in the one line that comes before that heavy bridge, where James just screams, "So make your last incision," and then it like kind of fades out for a bit before it just pounds.
The song had potential to be one of my favorites, but I think the heavier part kind of took me out of it, and I just couldn't get back into it.
That is disappointing.
Yeah,
no, I'm
I
excited
didn't want to be disappointed.
Sorry. Yeah, so, no, nobody ever wants to be disappointed by Thousand Below, right? I mean,
do you think? I'm gonna take this as a guess. I think Gone to Me is more of I think it's a B-side from
Gone in Your Wake.
Gone in Your Wake, yes.
Yeah.
It feels that way in the tone of the song and
Gone in Your Wake is how I want, or no. Gone to Me is how I want Heavy Thousand Below to sound, where it's like kind of more melodic to start and then you get like that heavy breakdown, or the heavy bridge at the end. That's what the Heavy Thousand Below that I like. This is, Venenosa is pushing it a little bit, but I've grown to like it.
I love this because it was so unexpected. I did not expect this at all.
We've got Wusky in the chat saying it's not a B-side. So Venenosa's the second single.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, should be interesting. I don't know. I'm always excited for New Thousand Below because they feel like a band that is consistently good, and they always have like one or two songs. Well, I say always, like they haven't only dropped 2 albums, but they've got 1 or 2 songs that I really, really like and stick with. Like Lost Between is easily like up there in terms of like my favorite songs ever. So bring back Marcus Bridge for the album again. We need it. Just put him on every song.
We don't have a release date or anything, do we?
No, not that I know of.
Yeah.
Probably one more single. We'll get it.
Yeah.
It'll be single 3. Dance Gavin Dance are back with the second single off of their upcoming album Jackpot Juicer called Pop Off. I like this a hell of a lot more than Synergy. I gotta say, Synergy's grown on me, but I think this is better.
I did not remember the name of the first single, but this is much better.
Yeah,
a lot better.
Which feels weird to say considering the first one like led with the Don Broco feature, right? Like, yeah, that feels in theory that feels like it should be the stronger one. I think this should have been the lead single, and Synergy should have been second. I think this is much more like keeping true to Dance Gavin Dance's style. Especially, I feel like leading with a single with a feature is kind of weird too. I don't know. Anyway, this is really just one example of like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, this is Dance Gavin Dance style, Dance Gavin Dance music. But, I mean, Tillian and John both sound so good here. The instrumental sounds so good. Andrew Wells is screaming with John Mess in the, I don't know what you would call it. I guess the hook of the song, not the chorus, but the pop off. I took the top off. You took a vintage authentic and made a knockoff. And the fact that Andrew Wells learned how to scream and now it's a part of Dance Gavin Dance and he's singing too, and it's just, the verses are good.
Spelling again too.
Yeah, after 3 years he's begun spelling again. I also want to note that like the song starts off with John saying that he's coming everywhere, and I'm honestly surprised that it took us this long to get him to say that with like all the other weird shit he said. Like, it feels like this shouldn't be the first time, but it is. Can't believe I'm saying that about any song or lyrics in general, but John took too long to tell us he was coming.
Lyrically though, at least Tillian's parts.
Yeah.
Seems very similar to the last album.
Yeah. And it feels almost less personal and more pop and melody driven, I think. Compared to something like Acceptance Speech or Instant Gratification, but I mean, again, like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This is Dance Gavin Dance doing what they do best, and I really like this a lot. I especially like in the last chorus, before John's part, where Tillian goes up a note and Matt doubles the time on the drums. That part is like euphoria. It's probably the closest I'll ever get to like heroin. I think like something about it really brings me such unmitigated serotonin. I don't know. This band just does things to me. I love their music, and I love being able to click with pretty much every song. I'm so excited for this album.
Certainly is a Dance Gavin Dance song.
Yeah, it really is.
Come on, Jake. You like the spelling in Headhunter. You'd like the spelling in this song?
There's spelling in this song?
Yeah, he spells out it's not helping shit. Come on, Jake, you gotta get with the spelling, bro.
I heard this song a month ago, realized it was a Dance Gavin Dance song, and then never looked back.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that is the thing. What's up?
Is Synergy similar lyrically? Or
I
didn't really pay attention to lyrics.
Yeah, it's
kind of underwhelming.
It's similar in the sense that it doesn't feel like, or that it's very surface level, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not a lot to like reach in and digest and unpack like there is in an Acceptance Speech type of thing. So, which like, you know, whatever. It sounds good. It makes me happy to listen to it. Like if you didn't like Dance Gavin Dance before, this is going to be the song to sell you. But if you like Dance Gavin Dance, you're going to like this. I mean, it's just another DGD song.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Now we get to the Justin era of the episode.
We do enjoy the Justin era. We got another single from f.e.a.r, their second single with The Hymn. I'm feeling alive in the unknown, dancing to the hymn of the wind. Everyone bow your heads. f.e.a.r is in with another banger.
I like this less than Wonders.
I like this more than Wonders by quite a lot, actually.
I do not remember Wonders.
I mean, just two bad takes from the boys on either end. I mean, it's just incredible.
I mean, maybe not wrong. I don't know. I'm still waiting to be more convinced by this band. I need them to drop a full album. I need a full experience because right now the singles aren't enticing me in the way that I hoped they would. I like this more than Wonders, but there's still something about this band that has not clicked with me. Like, I've gone back to it a couple times this month, and there's potential there. I'm not sold yet.
I want to see some Time the Evaluator era of vocals, because I know f.e.a.r. I know the notes that f.e.a.r. can hit. And it feels like they're definitely trying something new with the rock genre, similar to how Paloma sound. That's why I kind of am really enjoying this. But especially with f.e.a.r.'s features from Galleons and Valiant Hearts. Like, I know what he can do. He can also do heavier stuff, but it's just kind of... I think they're trying to figure out, like, the distance they want to go with his range, and
right.
I think we may be getting like potentially heavier stuff later down the line, but probably not right now.
I will say I think vocally this one is stronger than Wonders were, but I think instrumentally Wonders was better. There is few and far between instrumentation that I've heard this year that evokes as much serotonin as Wonders does. I mean,
Wonders
that it literally
like I don't like Wonders as a song that much, but like that happy energy that the instrumentation radiates and that, like, I still remember it.
Yeah, it feels like you're floating on a cloud for 4 minutes. I mean, yeah, there aren't a lot of songs out there that can do that. So even if I'm not as sold on the vocals, I'm still really loving the instrumentation on it enough to the point where every time they listen to it, I'm gonna be drawn in, type of thing. You know what I mean? Like they've intrigued me and they've hooked me and they've reeled me in. So even if I'm not loving the music, I'm still wanting to listen to every single release that they put out.
I agree. I don't think I'm gonna be hating a song that this band puts out.
Sorry, I just choked my water. No.
That's fine.
I nearly died you know what? I did say we were gonna make it to track 3 and I was gonna die. I was just fucking choked and keeled over.
Feeling more of that nitrous oxide, Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. More of my nitrous coffee.
I think that's all we got here for this one.
That means we get to go to Justin Extravaganza number
Part
2.
Let's go. Falset puts out another single for their second album, dropping literally this week on the 10th of June. We've got Monarch.
At this point, I have a love-hate relationship with Falset. Because
I'm sold on this album.
This band cannot release a bad song at this point, I think. This band can also not release a song that is in my rotation for more than 2 days. And I'm so frustrated. It's like, the past 3 Falset songs come out and I'm like, damn, this shit good. 2 days later and, like, I'm not listening to it anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, it is inexplainable how this band is releasing really good songs every single month, or every single up to this album has been really good, and it just has not stuck with me at all. I don't get it.
The problem is the first 2 singles really didn't catch me all that much. Lullabies was good as like a debut single without their uncleans. Just to kind of test the waters and see how that sounded. I feel like Love Me Like My Demons Do kind of was a bit isolated in how it sounded.
Yeah.
Medulla Oblongata, though, is still probably my favorite.
Did we ever figure out what the fuck a Medulla Oblongata was, or is it just sitting in that same realm as like a Dutang?
It's part of the brain. It's like between the brainstem and one of the lobes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Duotang there.
I'm still not sure what it actually does. But...
I wanted to like a Falset song for a long time. Or I guess let me rephrase that. I was in the same boat as Jake. You know, that first album came and went, all the singles came and went, and it was just like, yeah, everything's good, but nothing's sticking with me. This is the one, ladies and gentlemen. We have found the one.
Let's go. We got one. Surely this week the album will get me. Surely.
I'm surprised Medulla Oblongata didn't get you.
No. And it's mostly just because I was sitting there, I'm like, I can't sing Medulla Oblongata and not feel like a fucking dweeb. Like, those words leave my mouth, and I, like, feel like I should be bullied, you know? Like, Anyway, Jacob, you had a question.
I didn't have a question. I guess it is a question. Do you think he sounds like Jesse from f.e.a.r?
Yes. At least in this song in particular. That is a comparison that I made.
It's actually insane how much he sounds like him.
Yeah, it's kind of maybe that's why this is the one to do it for me. That's it. We just needed Falset to sound more like f.e.a.r, and then we'll that was the ticket to sell me. No, I don't know. I really enjoyed this, and it was really nice to finally have a Falset song to click with like this one did. And I really don't know what it is about this one. Maybe it's the guitar solo. I don't know, but it's however brief.
The one thing that has stuck with me about this song is just the delivery of "I'll Be Your Monarch" and then into the riff.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing that really stuck with me, and then the rest of the song kind of just falls a little bit flat. It's still a good song. It's just, again, I can't explain it. Just this band cannot get stuck in my head for one reason or another.
We'll get you there. Don't worry. I got mine, which means you'll get yours.
Surely we will. On to the Justin Extravaganza Part 3.
Yep, Part 3, ladies and gentlemen.
Look, it's a party over here. Get on or get out of the way. Windwalkers with their debut single since the new vocalist. Not debut, sophomore. I don't know. Hang Fire.
I can't live, crawling down on my knees. I'm burning up, I won't take another.
Their new single.
Yes.
That thing.
With the new vocals.
This is the best song they have released. Tell me otherwise.
I can't.
No.
I can't do it. I can't tell you.
Good.
This is so much better than Dead Talk.
Yeah,
I agree.
So much
good.
better than Dead Talk. Similarly to Fawcett, though, I did not spend very much time with it.
No!
Wow.
I'm blaming that on simply everything else that released on this day.
I'm pretty sure this is the same day as one of the albums.
No, it's the same day as all 3 albums we're talking about this month, so...
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, this first week of the month kind of just... these singles came and went because 3 albums all dropped on the same day, and that was in my rotation and not any of the singles. But going back to this song is so good. This is quintessential Justin the post-hardcore junkie post-hardcore. To a T.
I actually went back, because the vocalist, Trevor, he was a part of another band before joining this. And I went back and listened to, I'm trying to get the name. Bear with me for a moment while I look at that. f.e.a.r. It was another post-hardcore band, but his voice sounded very similar in that. And that's definitely like quintessential post-hardcore, and I feel like this blends more post-hardcore with the rock, and which is why I like it more. But it is what it is. This band is catching higher and higher on my radar, so if there's an album that's going to be dropping, I'm so looking forward to it.
Of all of the songs that Justin added to the playlist, bar one, which I think you can predict which the one is, this is my second favorite Justin song of the month.
I'm going to echo that statement.
What's the first?
We'll get to it.
Okay.
It'll be
I
pretty
don't
obvious.
know what the first is, and I'm disappointed when I hear it because I know the others don't qualify. Anyway, we got one more from me, and then I'll get off my soapbox. So we got I don't know if we've talked about this band before, but Nowhere. Oh yeah, we did. Nowhere Left with their next single, Hurt the Same.
I'm a little... Okay, let me not phrase it like that. This song is okay. Broken Story was better, and we should have discussed it back when that song came out.
I don't know why you didn't put that on there.
Simply just more better.
More.
That's fair. I think we were kind of bloated that month.
Yeah.
But I like this one more, honestly. I think the instrumentation's better, and I think the vocals kind of blend a bit more. I think Broken Story was them trying to kind of test the waters. I think
this song to me
is much more...
gets ruined by the mixing and production. It just doesn't feel as crisp to me as Broken Story did.
I can't really tell a difference. So.
I was about to say I can't either. I didn't have any problem with it personally. I really enjoyed this a lot.
I don't know. Something to me just felt off. I wasn't enjoying this the same way that I did with Broken Story.
I think the chorus is also pretty good with the cleans and underlying uncleans. I really like when bands do that. That's why I continue listening to Cry Wolf from Nature's Ghost, because the end where they put the uncleans in there, because fuck, I didn't know that band could do uncleans. But
now we do, and we need more of it.
Jake, do you know if this is attached to anything?
I gotta assume it's an album or an EP, but I don't know.
Let me see what else. I think this is the third single this year, four in total, so maybe an album.
Essentially, yeah.
I'm gonna do some.
I may not love this song, but I'm still very curious to hear more from this band. They definitely have something going.
They have like a merch line and everything. What the fuck? There's got to be an album dropping.
Surely, I hope there is. This is damn good. I need an album like this as soon as possible. A lot of bands like that this year. Again, like Justin bands too, that I feel like have albums in the works that I like hadn't really heard of before this year, and now I'm really excited because it feels like they came out of nowhere.
Alrighty, fellas. Let's talk about a band that's making a serious contention for a top 10 album of the year. Mothica, a brand new song, Last Cigarette, featuring f.e.a.r.
That's how you say that. Aura.
Yeah, wait, hold on real quick, Jake. I'm pretty sure Mothica is just her. Like, she is Mothica. I don't think it's a band.
One of the music videos had a band, so like I'm confused. I don't really know.
Maybe like a touring band. They had to hire him to get on there. I don't know. The Mothica Instagram account is like her personal one.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe.
Either way,
whatever.
This is another fantastic song heading up to this upcoming album. Casualty and Sensitive, both fantastic. This song, it's a very short song. You're in and out, and it's once again the vibes are just immaculate. The instrumentation, just I feel like this type of music doesn't normally click with me, but for whatever reason, it is hella working with me here. And Mothica making a serious run for my favorite band or artist that I've discovered this year at this point. Not definitively taking that spot yet, but in the contention for it.
Yeah, definitely for me as well. I will say I think this is the weakest of the three singles.
It is the weakest, yeah.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
still really solid.
Yeah, it's got a lot of potential. It makes me want to check out Aura too. I haven't I've seen her name around. She flows in the same circles as like Xylo and like a lot of those other female artists that used to be on like Mr. Suicide Sheep and stuff like that, if you remember that channel at all.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of thing. But I haven't heard a lot of her music, and it makes me want to check it out because her feature in this is so solid. And,
the way that the feature just integrated in, there was just like a slight pause before she comes in.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
And I will say too, something I thought that was really cool is that, at least as my understanding, is that Mothica used this song as a benchmark and hasn't smoked a cigarette since it dropped. So it was like the day that it dropped would be her last cigarette, and now she's like trying to like break her nicotine addiction or whatever, or stop smoking cigarettes, something like that. But
I remember.
All right, I'm gonna put out a song called "Last Soda."
I need to put out a song called "Last Stroke," bro. We gotta break the cycle.
Please don't put out a song called "Last Stroke."
Oh, you're right.
Please don't.
Track 2 can be Pterodactyl Threesome. Track 3 can be Paul's Titty Milk.
This is sounding like a Bill Murray album.
Yeah.
Exactly thinking.
Oh man. Shit.
Any other comments on Mothica here? I don't got much more to say. I'm extremely excited for the upcoming album.
Yeah, for sure. I think at least what I saw is that the next single is going to drop as a double single.
Yep.
I think.
I believe so.
And then apparently she's already got her next album written or something like that, or she has an EP that's like done to come out after the album and is writing her next album already. So lots of Mothica material upcoming. I love when artists do that.
Announce the album date. I want to say coward, but I don't want to be rude.
No. Announce it and make it soon. the announcement, the drop, all of it. Polyphia have dropped the debut single off of their yet to be named upcoming album called Playing God. This shit goes so hard, it's unreal.
They certainly do play the guitar in this song.
Yeah. Well, I've heard a lot of Polyphia songs in my day, and I would say that they are generally playing the guitar in that song, yeah. This is kind of a first. They don't really do much with acoustic guitars, and this one is exclusively acoustic. Kind of leaning into more of a flamenco Latin vibe. I believe there's a very specific from Brazil. I think it's called bossa nova type of style of guitar playing and rhythm. Um, and I think this is my favorite Polyphia song, just in general, because it may be so strange, but even then, I think it's remarkable how this band, and particularly in this song, conveys emotion through instruments that like they're like, no, we don't need vocals. Like I feel like this as a song is just as convincing emotionally as any given song with lyrics in it. At least to me. I didn't hear any resounding yeses, which maybe means I'm alone in that regard, but
Yeah, sorry.
it's all good. So what are you feeling about this then?
It's a Polyphia song.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. Like, it's interesting how, like, even without like having this playlist on, like just letting it play in the background,
Mm-hmm.
I can tell this is Polyphia just by the instrumentation, like just how it sounds.
Yeah. Yeah, I think really for me, like obviously they play like this there is guitar in this song as Jake put it, but I think the drums are really the highlight here for me. And the way that they give the guitars so much space to breathe. I watched a breakdown of the song from somebody who like actually knows what the fuck they're talking about. And they mentioned how like the bass is expertly crafted too, because it plays a certain way in the midsection of the song. So by the time you get to the end with all the like complex guitar going on, the bass is a callback to the bass and guitar that we're playing in this kind of second part of the song. So it draws you back in, and how it's like very similar to a lot of melodies that you find in pop music. And then, like on top of like the phenomenal composition and instrumentation, just the way that it's laid out and the different ways that they draw or bring the instruments together, the more that I like pay attention to this song beneath the surface level of holy shit, these guys are doing stuff with guitars that most people could never dream of doing, that it makes me appreciate the band and this song more. You know, type of thing. I don't know. It's just doing a deep dive into this sort of thing really makes me appreciate it more, especially when there's so many levels. And just this band as a whole is comprised of 4 individuals who are just really good at playing their instrument, and you put it together and it's almost unfair. Like there shouldn't be this much talent allowed in one band, and yet here we are, and they're putting out incredible material. I'm so excited to get more singles from them.
This is something that like I wouldn't go out and listen to this like on repeat like all the time, but like there's certain moods where I could fuck with this for sure. Like it's just really well crafted for an instrumental song.
I feel like Polyphia is one of those bands you have to see live to like really appreciate them. Because I haven't seen them live, but I really wish I did have, or I wish I could, basically. Because I'd just be blown away. I already know.
Yep, can confirm. I've seen them live. Was blown away. I didn't think that an instrumental band would be able to keep my attention for a 35-minute set, but they did, and they did it in spades. The energy was incredible. It was a really good show. Great musicians, great show, great single. I'm excited for more. Guess I'm on my soapbox now. I got 4 in a row. Motionless in White, can you believe I'm the one talking about a Motionless in White song, have dropped their newest single, Slaughterhouse, featuring Brian Garris of Knocked Loose. Who knew that all it would take for me to like Motionless in White is to throw Knocked Loose in there?
Who could have guessed that a Knocked Loose feature would make me not like this song?
You know, I saw that one coming.
Yeah.
I think the less I've developed my solution to Motionless in White, and it's that the less Chris Motionless there is in a song, the more I like it. So we've got a lot of shared space. I think his vocals to me are a lot to take in at once, just the way that they sound. But I think that there's a perfect because it's heavier and focuses less on the unclean or focuses less on the cleans. When the cleans do come in, it's just that much better. And I love every part of this song, really. I mean, it's just so good. Especially, I think my favorite moment in the whole thing is how he screams "eye for an eye" in the last chorus, and there's like that brief pause in the instrumentation when it comes in. That shit hits every single time. I'm surprised that this is like that they went this heavy, I guess, compared to the previous two singles, and apparently there is also a breakdown on this album on a different song that's even heavier.
This feels like giving the people what they want. Like with Disguise, they released Undead Ahead 2 as a single to please the heavy crowd. I feel like that's what Slaughterhouse is trying to do here.
I'm appeased.
So clearly it worked.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting that instrumentally it also sounds like Knock Loose.
Yeah, especially that last breakdown with the, I don't know what you would call it, I guess what do you call that when you bend the guitar string? What's the term for that? Do you know?
I don't know.
I don't know. You know what I'm talking about though, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's the thing where they bend the guitar string.
Yeah.
That
But I mean, I don't know if they like brought in the guitarist from Knocked Loose to do that, or like if they collaborated like that too because it's so knocked loosey. I don't know. But either way, it feels like a very full collaboration more than a feature type of thing.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah, it's like the two men got together and had a baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Didn't they tour together in 2019?
I have no idea.
What was the name of that tour?
No,
right?
they tried to. It's called the Black and Blue tour. Right?
Yeah.
It was a COVID. Yeah.
Ah, shit. That was supposed to come to Richmond too. Damn. Maybe they'll bring it back. I wonder if that like this is a thing that came of that type of thing, you know? That they were touring together and they're like, or playing a tour together. They're like, shit, let's just do a song. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, however this came to be, I really, really, really like it. And you know, if I can get a Motionless in White song that I really like, and I've spent the entire month with this, I'm happy with it. I'm sold.
Now, this actually isn't my favorite single. I still like Cyberhack more.
Really?
Yep.
Huh. I mean, I guess I'm just not a big Motionless in White fan, so the more Knocked Loose you can put into a Motionless in White. I could honestly take an entire album or like a split EP just of this. I'd be so incredibly happy with it. Which, like, if you told me a year ago, or I guess maybe probably 2 years ago, closer to 2 years, that I was going to be like, oh yeah, I don't like this Motionless in White song unless it has Knocked Loose on it, I probably would have laughed at you. But now it's like, fuck yeah. I love Knocked Loose. I love this song. Just really, really, really good. Speaking of features and collaborations, Illenium has put out a new song, Shivering, featuring Spirit Box. Banger. Jacob, this is where you say banger. Jacob, this is where you say banger. Justin, Justin, hello.
Let me say what I'm gonna say. I think Courtney sounds great. I think it's all right. My problem is actually like how predictable, and I guess it's just this style of music. It's kind of just like it's so repetitive and so like how many times does she say, "Can you feel me shivering?" It's like
Banger.
Let's go.
Hey, Justin.
We got three.
Okay.
We got three.
And yeah, the breakdown or
yeah, I know what you mean.
Beat drop is kind of like okay. This seems like to be I've seen it before in other collaboration songs. Like the one that comes to mind is the Bad Omens and Keizo, I want to say.
Yeah. I think it's either Keizo or Phase One of the two. But I think it's
Keizo. Where the breakdown literally sounds like this, and there's another one with Asking Alexandria.
Kneel Before Me. That's
yes.
Crank That and Slander.
Yes, that sounds like, I don't know. The breakdowns all sound the same to me. Or the drop, yes.
Yeah. No, that's fair. And I think I would agree. It's just that I love that style of drop so much that I don't care type of thing. Like, and I had an epiphany while I was listening to this song. And it's that I think listening, besides the fact that I like grew up on like 80s glam rock or whatever, like listening to dubstep and EDM for so long before I finally transitioned over into metal, I feel like there's a lot of parallels in terms of like melodic dubstep being the cleans of the genre, and then you've got like the heavier, more bro step rhythm drops as like the uncleans of the genre. And so like it made me realize that like with having her, do cleans on the melodic drop and then uncleans on the heavier drop, where it's like I feel like I was prepped type of thing. Like EDM prepared me to get into metal, and then I finally got there, and it's just like, oh, there's a lot of parallels here, and I never really realized that. Even with all the like recent kind of scene and EDM crossovers we've gotten over the past 2 or 3 years, like I didn't get it till this song, but I really like full disclosure, this is in my top either 10 or 12 songs of the year right now. Like I really fuck with this. Yeah.
I had this song on repeat. So this song came out the night that I moved out of college, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And when I had to spend 3 hours moving all my shit out of college, I had this song and the song we're talking about next just on repeat the entire day. I could not get enough of this song. Courtney's vocals are fantastic as usual. I'm not usually a fan of the dubstep wub-wubs, but they work for me here. And I don't know. It definitely gets repetitive, but again, like similarly, I kind of grew up on EDM stuff from like 2012 to 2015-ish. So like I have a heart of me that still loves that type of stuff. Not as much anymore, but like seeing these rock and metal collabs with EDM artists is really cool, and this is one of the most successful collaborations, in my opinion.
Justin, any thoughts?
Well, I mean, it's like the Adventure Zone and Roy Rodriguez collaboration. I thought that was pretty good, but Illunium also did a really good one with I Prevail.
Yes, Feel Something with Excision.
I remember not liking that one as much.
It was good, and then a lot of the same elements kind of presented itself in the song as well. So I feel like that kind of, I think it's just the Illunium style of EDM. I think that's really what it is. But I thought this was fine.
Brings us to the last of my soapbox,
well,
which is...
I don't know if we can exactly say it's just your soapbox.
Well,
this song was making it into the playlist regardless of who.
One way or another.
One way or another.
Rain City Drive have dropped their newest single, Waiting on You.
With depression, prayed the devil was on a leash, but I could never be free. Waiting on you, got lost in the darkness.
This is off of their upcoming album, which I believe, what is it titled again?
I think it's self-titled.
Is it self-titled?
I'm pretty sure.
I believe so, yeah.
Coming out in July at some point.
Yeah, it's coming out. Yeah, it's self-titled July 15th. That's when it's coming out. This is the best single.
Yep.
Ooh, no. Disagree.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
It is.
I'm the one that ruins the hive mind this time.
This and Dreams, I think is.
Yeah.
I think it's
So,
like where it comes up for me.
Are we all in agreement that Cutting It Close is the weakest single?
No.
Said no?
No, Jake thinks Dreams is.
Dreams is, yeah.
Dreams
yeah,
is.
I think so.
Okay, because Dreams is in my top like 10 or 12 as well. So, I'm partial to Dreams, but I think this is a very, very close second. I think Cutting It Close is last, but they're all phenomenal songs. So,
Close is easier to go back to normally than Dreams, but Dreams is an experience front back, and I think I like it more. But
Waiting on You is the most reminiscent of To Better Days, in my opinion. I feel like this song could slot in to that album. Given that was my favorite album of 2020, admittedly the album has fallen off a bit. This is just the sound that I want to hear from them. it's not that different from Dreams or Cutting It Close, but there's something about the melody and the vocal delivery and the it's just all coming together in a way that I love. I could not put this song down for most of the month.
The drumming reminds me a lot of Witch Hunt. Or like the pacing of the song, I guess.
And that would check out, given Witch Hunt was one of my favorite songs off of that album. Admittedly, being one of my favorite songs off of that album makes it like my 5th favorite on the album, but...
Yeah. Well, that put us... or that album was top 5 for all of us that year, right?
Top 5. Should have been...
top 2.
Yeah.
Give me that.
It was number 2 for me.
Me as well.
Justin, where did you have it? Do you remember?
I had 5.
Oh, fuck you.
That's why I said don't give me that.
I don't think this band can miss at this point. I don't think they have missed in a long time. I would argue they haven't missed since 2015, but
they certainly have not missed since Matt McAndrew came into the picture.
Right.
I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm really still bent out of shape about this new name change because I still do not like the name.
It's so bad.
It really bugs me, and it affects my whole like view of the band as a whole.
I think it bothers me more that they had it right and then changed it again. Like Rain City was fine, and then they had fucking Drive. Like,
well, I think Rain City was like copyright issues.
I am on board with Rain City Drive at this point. I am on board with Rain City Drive. This song,
I can't.
The legacy of Slaves is intact. Like with Rain City Drive now.
See, here's the thing. Like, I get it, and I'm used to the name. But I feel like there are 8 gajillion words out there that have an A in them because they wanted to keep the A from the Slaves logo to bring it over to have that kind of like crossover, but still keep that new identity. Pick literally anything else. Like I would almost argue. Well, I think that no, never mind. But yeah, I don't know. Name aside, I think this is really solid, and they're 3 for 3 on singles, and I'm really excited for this album. Based on these singles alone, I don't think that this is reaching album of the year potential.
No, this is not going to reach the same heights as To Better Days, but it's certainly making a run for top 10.
Yeah. I think part of it is outside of Dreams, Cutting It Close and Waiting on You, the lyricism doesn't feel as impactful as a lot of, or as personal maybe, or deep as something like Heavier or, obviously Talk to a Friend did. I don't know. It seems a lot more focused on the catchiness and the hooks rather than the lyricism, but the lyricism is still good, and like if they're focusing on hooks, it's still going really well and it sounds really good. So maybe more of a personal nitpick than anything else. But...
I'm hoping when I see them with Memphis Mayfire that my opinion on these singles goes up.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna raise a point here, and I think it's more. I think it's gonna be less about the instrumentation and more about like storytelling on this, because I feel like the way they're releasing the singles, not just because the music videos were done in a certain order. I think they're trying to tell a certain story with what's going on, and I'm interested to see if that's gonna have any holdover come the album, but. Feel like the way they're releasing the music videos at the very least, they're trying to tell some sort of story or connection.
I could see it. I think all 3 have talked about like relationships or maybe like lost love type of thing. So maybe I would sacrifice each song having deeper lyricism in the same way that a Heavier did, or like I mentioned, Talk to a Friend, if the album was almost like a concept type of album, telling a story front to back.
Gotten a lot of concept albums, really. I think Valiant Hearts was technically a concept album.
Yeah, well, that's why I want this one to be. I hadn't really noticed that connection between the 3 till you mentioned it, but it makes sense. So maybe if there's an overarching theme for the album, let's think, especially as a self-titled, like they need to make a statement with it. So we'll see. Either way, I'm really liking this a lot.
I think this is also the opener of the album, but
yes, it is.
That might be wrong.
Which I don't like having heard.
You know what, Derek?
What's up?
I'm gonna join your side. Dreams is better.
Okay, good. I'm glad you've seen the light. You know what? You're bringing up this being the opener because I'd almost forgotten about that. I don't like that this is the opener, both because I've heard it and because we had such an incredible opener with To Better Days on that album that like I wanted something similar, especially because like I said, if it's your self-titled, you're gonna make a statement. So like, do something like you did with To Better Days. You know, make this album as like well crafted as you can. Because it's only 10 tracks, right? I'm pretty sure it's only 10.
It's 10 tracks. So we're probably getting another single next month.
Yeah.
I've got a hot take real quick before we move on. I think this is a better opener than whatever the thing Into Prayers is.
What?
You're crazy.
You need to be like, I don't know, shot? Would shot be enough? Something more severe, perhaps.
We're gonna get him a detail.
You
need to be maimed. You need to be maimed and seriously injured.
That's a little severe. Reel it back a little bit there, but
No.
That's more so just me saying how much I fucking love this.
Oh man.
Justin, take it away.
Hi. Yeah. So
section.
It's just one.
Briefly.
Don't judge me.
The mini section.
We've got True North dropping their next single, Not Alone, off their upcoming album titled Out Loud. I think it's releasing July, because fuck July.
Yeah, fuck July, actually. Fuck June,
did.
too, actually.
We're just fucked for the summer. This is the best single since Save Me dropped, in my opinion.
I'm still not fully convinced. I am interested to see when the album comes out if my feelings are going to change. Because, again, with every single that you've tried to get me to listen to with this band, it's almost there. But not
I mean, I don't know what you're looking for. Like, what are you
I don't know.
looking
I don't
for
know what
when
I'm
it
looking
comes
for
to-
either. I just need my ears to enjoy it more than they currently are.
Well, my ears enjoy it just fine, so I think you need to fix your ears better, bud.
Fair enough, yeah.
I was expecting more
No.
indifference than that.
No.
I like this a little bit more than Out Loud. Out Loud was kind of a little bit drowned out, even with Aaron Gillespie's vocals. I feel like that could have brought a bit more energy to that song, but I did enjoy the second and third choruses of that song. This song, just top to bottom, just continues in that kind of same familiar energy that I enjoy from most of the songs that I like. That being said, Save Me is still the best single that's come out, and I'm really excited that it's on the album, because that's gonna bump the album a little bit higher on my placements, but we're gonna see how the entire package feels on that. I think if I had to rank at this point from what we've talked about, we've only talked about Out Loud and Not Alone, but I think I would rank it Save Me, Not Alone, Fix, Out Loud, and I haven't gone back to Your Confession, which was a Kellen Quinn feature. But that's all I had on the band. Just look out for them in July, because they might sneak their way onto my top 10 at some point.
Derek, you got any thoughts on True North here?
Best song. Probably one of my favorites from True North, I would say, that I've heard. I still like their cover of Stay With Loveless the best, to be honest, but...
Oh, yeah, no, their cover with Loveless was good. But that's not on the album.
Right. No, I think that outside of Out Loud, this is probably my favorite True North song. So, I'm happy with it. I'm content. This is one of the... Every once in a while, we get a month where, like, I really click with all the songs, or at least most of the songs that Justin adds to the playlist, and this is one of those months.
Last month was another month. I'm on a roll.
You're on a roll. The expectations are getting higher and higher.
Let's go.
Let's talk about this new song from Saving Vice called White Rabbit. Which, if you listened to our Hivemind After Hours episode that came out last month, hint, hint, wink, wink, go check it out if you haven't.
Which you should, because you hear all our voices except Derek's.
After you finish this episode.
Yes.
True.
Yeah, that.
You would know that we're all pretty high on this song, I think.
Yes. Well, we
Yeah,
don't know
songs-
Derek's opinion yet, actually.
True, Derek wasn't there for that episode. Derek.
I like it. I don't like it as much as some of my favorites off of Hello There, that album from 2020.
Hello there.
Hello There. I think that I hold that album, which was kind of heavier, in high regard, and so this is a little softer than a lot of the material off that album. So I think I need some time to like adjust, because it feels like a little bit. It's enough of a vibe switch that I'm a little like I've got the sound shock type of thing where I need some time to meld the two and make that transition over. But overall, it's a really solid song.
My favorite Saving Vice songs have been this and Phantom Pain, and I think it's because it leans more into the clean vocals and more of the melodic side, rather like the heavier side of things. So I think it's just different interests between the two of us here, Derek.
Yeah. Who would have thought it?
Who could have seen that one coming true?
Me being into the stuff with more uncleans and you being the stuff that's more melodic? No. It couldn't be.
I'll double back on that later in the episode. We'll get to that later. I don't have too much more to say. It's just a solid song. Vocals are great. It's got a nice hook in the chorus. I like the integration of the rap verses. Just overall, a solid song.
I agree.
Phantom Pain turned me off a little bit with the harsh vocals. This is a more consistent picture that I'm enjoying.
I do think this is my favorite Saving Vice song. Maybe I'm crazy, and Derek needs to recommend me more of their stuff. But yeah, I think it's something like, I think we talked about this in the episode. Something more like, you don't want to be creating the same thing, same song over and over again. And I think that's what they wanted to do with this. Like, they wanted to try out the rap vocals and some new direction. And if they like it, I like it. Everything's good.
Let's move on. Yours truly have announced a brand new EP coming out in July, and they dropped a brand new song, Hallucinate, featuring Josh of You Me at 6. I really like this song.
I think that this is one of my favorite Yours Truly songs.
This is either number 1 or number 2.
I don't know about that, but it's up there.
This is in contention with Siamese Souls as my favorite song of theirs. And it really comes with how powerful the chorus delivery in this song is. Her vocals you can feel the emotion in her voice in the chorus here. And then the feature of Josh from You Me at 6 in the second verse as well is just fantastic. I really like the way the song opens up as well. It kind of starts a little distorted, kind of like a hallucination in a way, which I think is pretty creative. And then just, it's the classic Yours Truly picture of like fantastic female vocals and kind of like post-hardcore pop punk-ish. I just really enjoy everything about this song. This is clicking with me. It's stuck in my head more than most other Yours Truly songs.
You know, I'm not really a huge You Me at 6 fan, but I think that the feature works really, really well here. This kind of crossover of styles. Well, I shouldn't say crossover of styles, like they make different kinds of music, really. It's very similar, but I think that's part of why it works so well. I'm excited for this EP. I'm always happy to get new Yours Truly, a band that I've, known about and listened to for, I think, 3-4 years now, and I really like their last album, and this is shaping up to be just as good.
I'm actually pretty happy that this is an EP and not an album, because I can actually fill out my top 10 EPs of the year now.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
I might actually be able to hit 10. We're one closer to actually having 10 EPs released this year.
We'll make it. We'll make it yet. Earthists have dropped their new single, Lost Grace. If there was ever a metal song to be used as an anime intro, this is the one. This like exudes anime intro vibes to me.
I need to send you a song that I listened to earlier this month that I might have a counterpoint.
What's up, Jacob?
Honestly, instrumentally, I'll agree.
Yeah. I think so.
Man.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? Wait.
I'm waiting?
It's something we're going to talk about later.
Oh, okay. My bad. I'll hold off on that one then.
Yeah, there's a song we're talking about later.
Oh.
It may or may not be my most played song.
Yeah, okay. I know what song you're talking about. Yeah, with the piano. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. This out of all the songs that I added to the playlist, I don't think that this one is necessarily my favorite, but I think that the energy and instrumentation is just way too upbeat and fun that, like, for me, it's hard to not enjoy this and, like, sit down and have a good time with it.
I'm not familiar with this band, so do they sound like this, like, instrumentally often, or is it just
not from what I've heard? I'm not super familiar. Like, I'm not like a diehard Earthis fan, but I seem to remember from what I've heard before it was a lot more focused maybe on like the metalcore side of things. They are from Japan, so the anime intro type of thing, it makes some sense. I don't know if this is attached to anything because like their Spotify stuff is all in Japanese, and obviously I can't read that. But I mean, either way, this is still, at least to me, really solid and just a ton of fun. This is like something that I want to listen to while I'm cruising down the road, just having a good time. It's a song to have a good time with, and it's always nice to get songs from this genre that you can do that with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a sax too, right? It sounds like a sax.
I don't know if it is or if it's... I don't know. I'd have to go back and listen to it.
Because I was going to make the Dreamwake comparison. Pretty sure it is a sax.
It might be.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I don't think they have a dedicated sax player, I guess would be like... But it could be. I don't know. When I think of this song, you tell me to remember something instrumentally, I'm always leaning back to that intro and like the produced elements in the chorus. But if it's got a sax, I mean, I think if nothing else, that's an endorsement. Like, hey, go listen to this because this is. There's a lot to love here. At least enjoy, and puts a smile on my face to listen to this.
On their Spotify,
making me feel bad for missing this in the playlist.
Their Spotify says they take influences from progressive rock, ambient, R&B, fusion, and jazz.
I mean that checks out.
Check out.
I would say that checks out. Yeah.
You've got me really interested in this band now.
Wesky says the album's out June 22nd. Perfect. Yet another one for June.
We're reviewing it next month,
Fuck
boys.
June. All my homies hate June.
I thought we hated July. What's wrong with June?
We hate June and July.
We hate them both. Fuck the summer.
Wow, man.
Jake, how about you hit us with this next one?
Red Hook have a brand new song called Jabberwocky. And this is my favorite Red Hook song in a hot minute. Last year, I believe it was Low Budget Horror and Sentimental Surgery. They were both fine, but didn't really stick with me for that long. This song kind of had me hooked from the first listen. The moment that the first riff comes in, and then you get into that first verse, and then the pre-chorus, the more I listen to the song, the more that it reminds me of like a typical EDM structure, where like you have the Jabberwocky, and then I feel like you could cut out the chorus and just have it be like a drop, and it would be like just straight up an EDM song with like guitars instead. And this song has a really... depressing message to it, but I find it a lot of fun to listen to. So I actually saw an interview article posted that this is a song about like surviving sexual assault, and how like you're trying to present yourself as like, oh, that could never happen to me, like I'm gonna be strong, but then it does happen to you, and you just like freeze and shut down, and you're like, your own perspective of yourself is like thinking you were some strong person just fades away, kind of, and the Jabberwocky kind of like being the representation of that thought. So I definitely recommend like going to find that interview if you care, because it was really well worded and articulated. But overall, it's a depressing song, as I said, but it's also, I find it a lot of fun. In the chorus with is it just a bad dream? Just starting off, just the really fun melody in the chorus, and then a surprise breakdown in the song as well.
Yeah, that one, I was not expecting that at all.
Yep, definitely caught me off guard, but banger breakdown.
Banger.
This is, compared to their EP last year, which was in my top 5 EPs of 2021, this is my favorite thing they have released since Bad Decisions and Kamikaze. So I'm really enjoying this. It's been crazy following Red Hook over the years, because this is one of the like first small bands that I found through my Discover Weekly on Spotify. I discovered them at the end of 2018 when they only had like 2 or 3 songs out, I think. And to watch them go from that as just like some random band to show up in my Spotify algorithm to now where they're at with like 200,000 plus monthly listeners the last I checked, it's just it's really cool to see this band grow, and I'm enjoying their music basically ever since I got into them.
I think we've all got a couple artists like that at this point. It's been really neat. Shout out Loveless, sitting at 975,000 monthly listeners now.
Shout out Paloma, who we've been on to for a while.
Paloma, we knew they would blow up, but Loveless just kind of TikTok just kind of took them on another level.
Doing its thing.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that cover that they dropped this month, are we? It's not in the playlist.
No, I actually, despite it being so popular, I didn't really like it all that much. I just don't like the song in general and like the way it's structured. Not the cover, the original. But I mean, it's popping off. It was like #1 on like 7 different charts, and it's at like 3 million plays now, a couple weeks from release. Like it's kind of ridiculous to see the way that the TikTok algorithm, like just the amount and level of impact they can have, you know, the same sort of thing, maybe on a little smaller scale, but with Dark Matter by Rivals type of thing, you know. Mm-hmm. No, just awesome to see. For all bands involved.
Never tell blow up the same way. That would be
fantastic. As they should. They deserve to.
For real. Let's move on. The Hot Milk Supremacy Hype Train returns with a brand new song, Teenage Runaways.
Uh-oh.
Do you not like this song?
No. I think it's fine. I'm just scared of the Hot Milk Supremacy Hype Train. It's a little scary.
As you should be.
You will get ran over. There are no consequences.
To impress me, Bad Influence was a little bit Bad Influence was like good, but given Hot Milk's track record, I had to it wasn't my favorite. Teenage Runaways, back on that upwards trajectory. The moment this song kicks off and the guitars are coming in and then Hannah starts singing that first verse and it's like super intense. I fucking love it. This band's energy is basically unmatched in the pop punk. Can you even call this band a pop punk band at this point? It feels unfair. Anymore. It feels like unjust to call this band pop punk because of just how diverse they can sound. As much as I say that, the chorus feels very similar to Bad Influence. It has a similar melody to it. It's like, I'm just a bad influence. We're just teenage runaways. Like, it kind of feels very similar chorus-wise, and it falls a little bit flat given the strengths of some of their choruses in the past, particularly with Split Personality, one of my favorite songs of last year. I know that they can do better. not to say this is bad, but either way, I'm still excited for their upcoming EP. It's still way too far away, but this band is likely to make my top 10, top 5 EPs of the year once again. I don't think this is on track to be as strong as last year's EP so far, though. They're going to have to kick it into high gear with the other 4 songs that remain on this EP if it's going to be contesting the likes of Split Personality, and I just want to know what happens when I'm dead.
I agree entirely.
Nope.
But the Hot Milk Supremacy Hype train rolls on.
Choo choo.
Still loving for this band.
Please do not resist. You are being saved.
Exactly. This is for your own good.
We got another band hitting up our...
If you'd like to opt out of the Hot Milk Supremacy Hype train, you can call this number.
There's no opting out, Jake. I'm redacting your statement.
Okay.
No opting out. No number to be called.
I was trying
You're
to
on
make
for
a
the
bad
ride.
transition, okay? I had to cross off the bad transition.
Oh, no, I whiffed. I missed it. Oh, no, I fumbled it. It's okay, we'll cut it out in post.
Nah. Fuck it, we roll. Justin,
This
take it away.
is-
Justin!
This is the Hivemind.
Justin!
That's what I was
World
saying
needed it
before
most.
Jake decided to be
Come
on
on, I
his
already put the next
bullshit.
slide up. Tell us what we're
Hurry
talking
up,
about. Justin.
Justin.
Catch your breath with their song Dial Tone.
You just walked away. All I wanted was an answer. All I needed was to know. Give me a reason.
I'm in a room with idiots.
You know,
We established that
Wait,
2 years
wait.
ago.
hey, we're not in the same room as you, so who else is in the room?
Yeah, is this... Yo,
Boy-
Justin, blink
boys
twice if you
room.
need help, bro.
Voice room.
The boys' room.
The voice room.
Can we talk about...
Broke. Discord call.
How-
Broke.
This is
Voice
my
room.
favorite transition.
Can we talk about how fucking this band is popping off?
Dude, holy shit, this is incredible.
This is such a good
This
song.
is so good. Better than Shame on Me, yes or yes?
No.
No.
Is this the song you guys were talking about earlier?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. This
Got
is the
it.
one.
Got it.
If Justin wasn't adding it to my playlist, I was, because I'm pretty sure this is my third favorite single of the month that we're talking about right here.
Love to hear it.
Dude, the vocals, this is actual quintessential Justin post-hardcore, and it is making me one happy human being. For as sad as the
I thought you were
lyricism
gonna use a
gets in
different
this
nature
song.
word, though.
It's so weird.
It's just
It's so weird because if you go back to the discography, like right before Shame on Me, they had a Michael Barr feature with a song called Blood in the Water. That and Criminal are both heavy. Like they get heavy. And it just seems like at the start of the year they flipped the light switch and was like, hey, we want to be post-hardcore and do post-hardcore shit.
and do
I'm
cool
okay
things.
with this.
Yeah,
Give me more of this.
Yeah, this is so good. It's like, I'm just imagining right now, Rain City Drive headliner, Catch Your Breath support.
Oh.
Like, it's just perfect.
Mwah.
If you like Rain City Drive and any band that sounds like Rain City Drive, you will like this song.
I'm also gonna recommend their 2018 song "Yesterday." That's the song that got me into this band, and it's also kind of a very similar sound. I think everyone here would like it after this.
I want to highlight the delivery on in the chorus. The "All I wanted was an answer."
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
So good. So good. And then
Oh.
later in the chorus with just give me a reason, I need a reason.
Mm.
It's just everything about this song is incredible. Seriously, like one of the most underrated bands that we are talking about this month and potentially this year.
For sure. But we say underrated and they're on Octane now though, right?
They're
Yeah.
on Octane, but I'm looking at those monthly listeners numbers and they are not as high as I feel like they should be.
Guys, come on. Talking to Octane.
Yeah, I mean, they'll get up there, surely. The fact that they've even gotten on Octane to begin with, I think that once they have that in, I think that they've set themselves up to be on future rotation, and it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Give this band the same trajectory that Archetypes Collide had with Octane.
And
well, the band, the band's also not playing like this, like the social media game, like Loveless is.
Right. Well,
like,
and I mean, like, look, I'm gonna be honest.
I don't think they need it. I think they're doing fine.
Well, and I mean, like, think about for them too. Like, oh, maybe they were at, because I'm pretty sure when we first talked about them back in January, I think, or January, February, one of the two. I think they were only at 20,000 something. But even if they're now what, 54,000. So I mean, that's still a large increase. But even if it's like, oh, they were at 48,000 before, and now they're at 54,000, like that's still an increase of like 10% in your monthly listeners. Like that's still huge. So even if they're not getting like 6 digits, 7 digits, whatever off of Octane, like they're still making progress and progressing and reaching a wider audience. Think about maybe one person tells two, who tells somebody else, you know? I mean, just I think what it comes down to is that this band deserves the world because they are so good.
with the quality of these back-to-back singles, Shame on Me and Dial Tone, this band deserves the 6-figure monthly listeners.
Yes, absolutely. You are doing yourself an active disservice if you are not checking out this band.
I agree.
All right, let's move on. f.e.a.r have announced a brand new album and dropped a brand new song called Cutthroat. So earlier I said I was going to double back on something.
Mm-hmm.
This is my favorite pissed off anthem of the year, and it's not particularly close. This is my favorite single of the month. I could not have expected f.e.a.r to be releasing one of my favorite songs of the month based on just like that 2020 album. It was all right. It was good. Fuck you, Justin.
What? Keep going.
Audio listeners, Justin has a new profile picture. It says no queens. Because this song's certainly pissed off with the uncleans. Yeah, like I don't know, man. There's something about the energy that this song delivers that makes me want to get mad, get out of my chair, and stomp around my room. And I've done that multiple times so far. It's just, you got something up your sleeve when you're building up with, like, the opening riff very much reminds me of, like, Low by Wage War, just that opening guitar riff. And then you just open it with a fuck you. just screamed, fuck you. I'm not going to try and interpret it because I can't, but it sets the tone for this entire song.
Pretty sure it says fuck you, Jake.
Excuse me, Justin, what is that?
Whoa! Justin, that was a little aggressive towards our friend Jake here, don't you think?
Can you apologize?
Yeah, I'm going to need an apology as soon as possible. I better see something drafted in the notes app by the end of the podcast, bro.
Dude,
You're
there
done.
better be a tweet.
I need the twit longer stat. Why Justin is problematic. A thread.
How did we get here? Point being, this, I don't know. I have not loved a lot of metalcore songs this year. This is one of them. This is one of those metalcore songs that just the moment I first heard it, I was like, this is one of them. This is the one. This is the one. And I think the other thing that really had me convinced, when you get into that breakdown and you give me that 1 second pause before you just lay it down, simply by having a 1 second pause, you've already brought yourself into conversation of top 5 breakdown of the year for me. It just hits different, man. I don't know how else to explain it. This song just hits different.
I don't want to rain on your parade. I think this is my least favorite f.e.a.r song.
I'm unfortunately going to have to agree.
I don't know about that, but it's a little...
Jake in shambles right now, bro.
I'm fine.
We're bullying Jake right now.
It's
fine.
I think what it is, at least for me, is that I think that the band and I think I mentioned this when we talked about their album in 2020, which I believe was also a June or July album, something from the summer. That I think they're at their strongest when they take what they learned from the pop songs that they covered for a while back then. I still don't know if they're doing as many covers as frequently. I haven't really kept up with them recently. But that's why something like Crazy for Your Crazy from that last album, which is just rock with like pop.
That's
pop
my
melodies.
second favorite song. That's my second favorite song until Cutthroat came out. Crazy for Your Crazy was my favorite song and what I wanted to hear more from. And then they just bring this out as like the heaviest thing that they've ever done, and I fucking love it.
Yeah, I think that I don't love it as much because it leans more into that heavier side of what they do. I like f.e.a.r as a pop rock band. I don't like them as a hard rock metal band.
I agree.
Yeah.
I also
think
think because they do covers so much, maybe it affects their, because they're not really writing lyrics, right? So they're not very experienced at writing very creative lyrics, I'll say.
I'm gonna counter that point and just say that they've put out some pretty good, like, original stuff. Back in 2017, they put out a song called "Over It," which is still probably my favorite, f.e.a.r. I don't think that was in their album in 2020, but I think they certainly have the potential to do like creative lyricism and really just kind of branch out with their sound.
You're right. You reminded me of when you said like a 2018 song. I think of "Back on You," and if you ever watch the video for that, you think it's about one thing, but then it's actually about another, and it actually like throws you off. And it's actually, I thought it was really clever. So I'm gonna retract my statement.
Yeah, it was "Back to You," but because I'm looking at their discography.
"Back
right
on
now,
You"
yeah.
is never terrible.
Back on You, yeah.
like they alternated between covers back in like the 2017 to 2019 span between originals and covers. Like "Back to You," "Late," and "Over It" were kind of their original songs from that time period, and I still think that's some of their best content.
Or Jake, bro.
You know, you guys are certainly fueling the fire for that pissed off anthem.
Yeah.
Hey, Jake, how do you feel?
Well, pissed off.
By Glass Hands.
Yo! We share one collective brain cell at any given point, I think. And like whenever we want to talk about something, we have to like share the cell. I think that's why I stroke out so often, is because it wasn't my turn yet, so I try thinking without permission and just short circuit.
We run out of brain cells.
Oh man. Anyways, Justin, go ahead.
This song's alright.
This is probably my most played song of the month, I'm gonna say. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but just that opening bit, that first verse, just does it for me for the song. Like, it's so good.
If this song was entirely Clean's, I think I would like it more.
I'd argue if it was entire Clean's, like that first opening bit would kind of it feel like more blended in. I think the uncleans kind of help set it apart from the rest of the song and probably would make me enjoy it more. So it also helps. It's only 3.5 minutes, so
yeah,
it's very easily replayable.
How do I put this? Something about this isn't clicking, and I want it to, because I listened to it and I'm like, shit, I don't remember Glass Hands being this good, and I love everything I'm hearing, and then I get finished with the song after loving it all the way through, and I'm like, I don't want this in my playlist. And I literally don't know what it is. I think this might be the most confusing song of the year for me.
I think I should also specify this was for an EP that has already dropped at the point of this recording. We're not going to talk about the EP, but that dropped this last Friday. It's also going to be the last EP with this Clean's vocalist because he's stepping away from the band. So... in general, I think this is probably my favorite Glass Hand song. They had another song back a while back called Bouquet, their most played song. That was probably still my favorite. I'd have to go back and listen to their 2018 album to really see how I feel. But this song in general is just been very easily replayable for me.
The song's alright. As I said, I think I would like the song more if it was just cleans. The opening is fantastic. The uncleans kinda are on the verge of taking me out of the song. Not working for me as much as I would have hoped. But it's solid. This is my first introduction to the band, and I enjoy it. I'm glad that you guys introduced this band to me. Not my favorite thing, but I enjoy it. Moving on then, Fixation have another brand new song called More Alive. And I have a few things to say about this song, but I have one thing that I want to start with.
Mm-hmm.
You can't resist the temptation. The satisfaction has never felt so enticing. The vocal delivery on that into the riffs of this song this is my favorite Fixation song by a long shot, and it is in big part due to that delivery into the riff. This song in particular, it made me this band is like a grungier, darker version of Holding Absence.
Oh my god. You're right.
Just listen.
I just had
Jacob's third eye just open.
I just like ascended, dude.
I listened to a man have an epiphany in real time, bro.
Oh my god.
Derek has strokes, Jacob has epiphanies. You like to see it. It's just like I compare this song to Gravity by Holding Absence and the drum solo that song has compared to the drums in the riff of this song, and I'm like, these songs are really similar, but Fixation just has like a darker tone to the guitars, and the vocals are a lot more kind of almost spoken word-esque, but it has a grit to it that really just comes across as very powerful in this song. Not to mention, there's a breakdown at the end of this song. The guitars go fucking nuts, and I love it. This song really surprised me. Fixation has been a band that they've always been decent, but never amazing. Mm-hmm. This is the first song that's really clicked with me, and it's gonna stay in my head. And I'm hoping that they've got an album or an EP coming out, because this is the third song that they've dropped this year. And surely something's coming. I don't know what, but something has to be coming, and I'm very interested to see where it goes at this point.
It's gonna be me if they keep putting out songs like this, let me tell you. No, I really like this. I don't think I've really paid attention, I guess would be a way to put it, to Fixation a lot. I think they've maybe been brought up before type of thing, but nothing stuck with me. This is so good. I liked so many songs this month, bro. Y'all had some really good picks. I want to shout out the rest of y'all, because I think these past few months in particular, like the stuff that you guys have added, it's maybe something you've put in like the music sharing type of thing in the Discord. I haven't really been able to check it out because it's like, oh, I'll listen to it, and then I'm at work and I forget, and then I get to hear and I'm like, oh shit, these are all really good. Like,
yeah.
The small bands are delivering lately.
They're really delivering this year. Really, really strongly. Oh my goodness, yeah.
That's kind of all I have to say. Just the vocal delivery on The Satisfaction has never felt so enticing into that riff or the breakdown. It's so good.
I think that brings us to another really good song that I didn't get the chance to listen to until we got here, and now I'm like, holy shit. Nerve have dropped their newest single, Still Breathing.
My boys are back.
Been a while.
Yeah, I think it's because they had some record label issues and they had to get out of a nasty contract. But I'm glad, because holy shit, this sounds so good.
Yeah, this is. I think the subtle, electronically repitched vocals really sell me on this song. You know how much I love those. I have always expressed my love for those type of vocals, and this is no exception. I really, really enjoy this.
Yeah, the opening and then the bridge, fighting off the alcohol, feeling like I'll never win it all, holding on to you, I'm on to you. It's very easy lyrics to really go back and just kind of sing. Once you like go give it a couple of listens. I also want to shout out the instrumentation of just the solo, the bit between the like second to last and last chorus. That is amazing. Such a good part.
Yeah,
like
no, go for it.
I'm just gonna say, like, this band has been dropping incredible songs after incredible songs. I really need to hear this album this year.
Yeah.
I really need the album this year.
Yeah, I'm at the point where I'm gonna agree with you, and I think it's just because I really hadn't. I was a big fan of the Bad Habits EP when I first found that and Enough, but those are the only two songs that really stuck with me back then. And the more recent songs, well, I say recent, like Hopeless wasn't in 2020, but those and Bad Nature was like, all right, you're back, you piqued my interest. This has sold me completely. I love this. This is just an amazing song, and I am very much looking forward to it.
On the contrary, I'm kind of the opposite, where Bad Nature was the song that really sold me, and this one's kind of falling a little flat.
Oh, damn.
I still like it, but the soft vocal delivery in the chorus just isn't doing it for me. That's really what's holding me back here. But this band, they still have an incredible vocalist, and the instrumentation is there. It's just the full picture didn't come together for my ears this time. But I'm very interested to see what this upcoming album or EP sounds like.
It's definitely an album.
It's definitely an album? Okay, good.
Yeah,
it's gotta
it's
be.
absolutely
Good,
an album. I think we're gonna get one more here within the next month or two. And then maybe
real quick, one of the members of Nerve is in the chat saying it's coming this year 100%.
Oh, dope. Hell yeah.
I'd love to that answers our question.
Love to hear it.
Yeah, this incredible song. Thank you so much.
I think that brings us to the next one. Another Derek song. Let's go. Mr. Wives are back, and they have dropped a new song called Where Do We Go From Here?
Where do we go from here?
This dropped alongside another song called Easy, which was a little more mellow, and is the second and third single, I believe, after another one called Dreams. I think there's an upcoming album. This is a band that I go way back to. We were talking earlier with Elenium about like the kind of EDM influences. Like this was a band that featured on a Pegboard Nerds song back in like 2013 called Coffins, which is like probably my most played EDM song of all time.
Fuck, I think I actually remember that song. Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean,
in my brain.
And that was like 2013 before they ended up making their part of that song into a full song and then releasing it as an EP. They put out a couple albums since. This is they're kind of a alternative pop, sometimes venturing into the rock side of things, and this kind of has that rock synth, more upbeat vibe to it, and I love this. I think this is my favorite Mr. Wives song in a hot minute since they dropped Rock Bottom, I believe is the name of the single off the last album, which kind of had the same sort of vibe as this. It's just, even if the lyricism isn't necessarily as happy, it's just a happy, upbeat, vibey song that you can just chill to, or rock out, or play with the windows down, or whatever you want to do. Bouncy and fun, I guess would be a way to describe it. And I love the way her voice sounds in the chorus. I love the way that the instrumentation sounds. Just everything about this, I'm really in love with. This is my favorite Mr. Wives song in a long time, and one of my favorites from the month easily.
This is my first time listening to Mr. Wives, and I'm not as high on it, but this song vibes. This is chill. I like this. I gave it my 2 listens earlier today.
Yeah.
I like it. I dig it. I'm down for more.
Yeah, they have so many styles that I don't really know whether or not we're going to get more like this in whatever, EP album. I think it's an album. But I am very excited for more Mr. Wives. If they put out more like this, that's might be looking at a top 10 of the year dark horse for Derek. We'll see how it goes. But no, I've been spinning this all month. I love this.
So, your friendly reminder that Jacob did add a second song to the playlist this month.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. There's also a third one, but I kind of added it because, whatever. We'll talk about it later. Yeah, Dead Lakes have released their new single, Wrong Way.
Made up my mind, I'll die with the decision. Wrong way, down the wrong lane, and I'm wondering what happens if I just let go. Something I'm missing, something.
How we feeling?
This is my favorite Dead Lake song, and it's not particularly close.
Yep.
I think so too, actually. Yeah.
Jacob, you talk about it because I think I'm probably just going to agree with whatever you can say.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to leave this one to you, King. You got this.
I just love it, dude. It's just...
Yup.
Yeah.
Love it, dude.
Justin, how are you feeling about this one? Yeah?
You love it, dude?
No, I was
Justin?
making fun of Jacob. I thought it was alright. Haven't added it in my playlist yet, but I'll probably go back to it after this show.
Damn it.
Dead Lakes was, before the single, Dead Lakes was sitting in that kind of, I'll call it a purgatory, of the post-hardcore purgatory, where it's like, I'm waiting for everything that I've heard is good. Kind of like Falset was, actually. There's been a lot of bands hopping out of post-hardcore purgatory and into the playlist this month. And this is one of them. I love this.
Yeah.
Happy to finally have one.
Yeah, Sam. I remember that EP from 2020. Like, it was good. Didn't really stick with me very much, but, like, it was good. This song has gotten stuck in my head, like, immediately. That chorus comes in, like, wrong way down a one lane, just trying to find a way to let go or whatever it says. I don't have the lyrics pulled up, but, like, that's how much it's gotten in my head that, like, it's been out for barely a week, and, like, I've got that chorus stuck in my head without really even thinking about it. Without even having to look at anything. It's just... It's so incredibly catchy. The instrumentation is just the perfect tone to match the vocals. It's just a fantastic song.
Justin, I'm gonna say you should have went to that show with 1,000 Below and Dead Lakes. Just saying, you should have went. I should have went.
I should have went, but just due to scheduling, I really didn't want to miss the after hours with Kaylee and Mickett. So, plus I wasn't completely sold on 1,000 Below. I really probably would have gone to get Savage Hands live, and maybe see if I would have jived with the other ones, but
I love this one. They they mute. It's not totally muted instruments, but he just sings the chorus with like less instruments, is what I'll say. I don't know how else to describe it. It's at the end. It's depressing and also makes me want to drive the wrong way down to one lane. Not really, honestly.
Yeah, for legal reasons, that was a joke.
Jacob, are we losing you?
Am I disconnecting? Or you mean like in my brain?
I think he meant in your brain.
I mean, kinda.
No, he meant in the playlist.
What?
I don't get that.
The next song is Losing You by Our Promise.
Oh!
It's time to let you go, my dear. I'm losing you. You're in everything I do.
It's alright, Jake.
Got him,
I
boys!
got you.
I was like so concerned for a second. I was like, Jacob, homie, like, do we need to cut it for something? Are you all right?
No, Jake.
man.
I am the king of the bad transitions today.
I don't know.
I'm 0 for 2 on picking up the Jake's transitions tonight, bro.
Honestly.
Fumbling the bag.
I just choose to ignore them. Jake, mind if I start on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our problem is They made a Justin song.
Yeah, I'm about to say, what the fuck? Jake, you could have told me they were catering to me. I mean, you did.
I think you did, yeah.
I did.
Yeah. This actually, for some reason, at least probably the chorus, points me back to like 2012 Day to Remember, like All Signs Point to Lauderdale era.
Huh.
I don't know why.
I don't see it, but
I don't know why
I
either.
I can see it vocally.
Vocally, at least, fuck, what was that one song? The music video was like baseball. I made a wax layer. What are you made of?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Is one I'm thinking of from Homesick. That for some reason like that sticks in my head whenever I listen to this song. But I thought this was good. This was the first Our Promise song I added to my playlist, and I went back and listened to at least Renegades. I'll have to go back and listen to the other ones, but I thought Renegades was better than what I originally had thought, so it still didn't make its way to my playlist. But
I've got you convinced on at least one song now, so there's hope.
I'm catching on, so
there's hope.
Yes.
You'll have to see it. Yeah, I knew the moment I first heard this song that this band could not cater more to Justin if they tried, basically. So, I'm glad that you actually like it. But again, it's just Our Promise, kind of doing Our Promise things, but not really. There's really only, like, right before the second chorus, they drop in a couple of screams, and that's kind of it. Otherwise, it's basically just entirely cleans from top to bottom, in quite stark contrast to their debut EP last year. I really like this. It's not my favorite song of theirs, but Our Promise have set the bar really high for me. I still like it. I've still listened to it a fair bit. And at this point, similar to how you view 1,000 Blow, this band hasn't been around for nearly as long, but this band can't miss as far as I'm concerned.
I think there's another band that can't miss, and we're about to talk about them.
You might be right. In fact, I would say that you are right. Paloma. Brand new song, Quicksand. This band doesn't miss. Simply put. Paloma does not miss. Justin, shut up. This band does not miss.
Okay,
I would say I didn't catch on to Fever when that came out, and that's still the only one that's not saved in my playlist. But
I think
this song is their best song.
Oh, that's a take.
We're going
that's a
that
take.
far, huh?
That's a take.
Hang on. Whoa. You threw me for a loop, dude.
That's a take.
He's like left speechless. I don't know what to say.
I honestly don't, because I was gonna be like, I think the floor has been set so high with this band that even though this song is really good, I'm not really into. Well, I am into it, but I'm like not into it as I should be.
This song is interchangeable with.
Song. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the song is interchangeable with me with 2 a.m. and Bad as my favorite Paloma song. Just really depends on the day.
I would argue that this and 2 a.m. are the only Paloma songs that I think are really like that I enjoy. I don't really care for the rest of them. Yeah, I know. That's my hot take, is that I'm not into Paloma.
Steam coming out of Jacob's ears.
Do you want to hear my hot take?
My igloo is melting.
Move out of Canada, stupid! You want to hear my hot take? This is the 5th best Paloma song out of 6, and it's still incredible.
Well, no, you said best, and not like
and not second worst? Yeah, because 5th best is better than second worst for the quality of material this band is putting out. Like, if you put the 6 singles here in an EP, it is easily top EP 2022 right now. Not even close. Now, I don't know if Paloma are actually releasing an EP or an album, but please Please, something.
It's an EP. We just don't know when the fuck it is.
I need it in my ears.
Bands with good music that take a long time to release it, please put out an album challenge. I'm looking at you, Paloma, Hot Milk.
Conquer Divide. Who else is there? Catch Your Breath.
Yeah, I need these expeditiously, but yeah, I mean this is especially since I wasn't feeling super high on whatever it's called. Since I wasn't feeling super high on a lot of the other singles, to have a Paloma song that I really like this one, I'm happy. I know that might be a hot take for the rest of y'all, but for me, I'm vibing. I'm happy.
I will never complain when a new Paloma song shows up in my release radar or in my Twitter feed 2 weeks before it actually comes out.
Do love to see that.
2 more songs before we get into the big releases of the month. Following in Reverse put out a brand new song called Voices in My Head.
All right, Derek, hit me with it. I'm ready to take the blow.
Our resident Following in Reverse disliker. Other than
all right, first and foremost, it's fuck Ronnie Radke. All right, yes. I want to lead with that. It's fuck Ronnie Radke. I think he's a dick. Now, I also don't like anything that Falling Reverse has ever put out on an album ever. I don't like Popular Monster. I didn't like any of the reimagined shit they did. I didn't like Carry On. I'm Not a Vampire, whatever. And then we got to Zombified. And I was upset. Because the lyrics suck dick. I mean, they're just terrible.
Yes, they do. And
but the song...
that song is not saved.
I have that song saved because it's so catchy, and I like the... It's got the catchy chorus, it's got the surprise breakdown that's, like, really heavy, and the way that the guitars are tuned really, like, scratches an itch in my brain. And I was mad. Because I liked the Falling in Reverse song. And I felt like I wasn't supposed to. And unfortunately, now I'm pissed because I like this one even more.
Yes.
And that chorus is undeniable. The lyrics still kind of suck, but they're not as bad as Zombified. They're like as objectively bad.
Yes, you are literally saying what I want to say.
The surprise breakdown in this one is even better than the one in Zombified. I don't know. The music video is like just as, I will say, regardless of how you feel about this band, the music video, like quality for these past two has been
almost
insane.
Unparalleled. It's almost unparalleled.
Look,
I just really want to be in a Marvel movie.
Yeah. I don't like when Falling in Reverse made scene music. Now they're making music for pissed off Republicans in the age 30 to 50 range. But in making that,
what?
I mean, you look at Zombified and go look in the comments of like all the people like defending Ronnie Radke on Twitter, and they're literally all the same like 30 to 50 year olds. Like, you wouldn't get it. Ronnie's music like changed my life. These lyrics like saved me, and the lyrics are like everybody's canceling you. Like, I don't know. You go look at the Falling in Reverse fan base on Twitter and tell me I'm wrong. I'll wait.
I don't know.
I'll wait.
I don't follow it.
I don't either. Everything I see is against my will. But I mean, all that to say that I think they're really like 2 for 2 on singles here, and the songwriting and catchiness of these verses and choruses, the way that it's structured, I can't not like this solely on the fact that after first listen, it is stuck in my head until my brain forces me to listen to it and like it.
Yes.
And then you have the breakdown that comes in. It's like, all right, well, that's just the bow on top. I will say, I think that this and Zombified have the exact same song structure, and I think it's going to get a little repetitive if we keep getting the same one. But if Memphis Mayfire proved anything, it's that can work as long as the songs are good. So I'm going to need Falling in Reverse to start missing and make songs that I hate again, because if I have to live in a world where there is a Falling in Reverse album in contention for my top 10, I'm going to be very upset. I don't want that.
I think it's an EP.
Really? Okay, good. Thank God. Actually, I don't want it anywhere near my top 10 anything, so I need the rest of these songs to suck. I'm content with these two, please.
I want to highlight, the delivery on Forever?
Yup,
oh my God.
Yup, that little falsetto before the chorus.
Yeah.
Damn you, Ronnie Radke!
Yeah, the song's pretty good. I don't have much else to say. You guys kind of said everything.
I didn't say anything. It was all Derek, and you
Yeah,
literally
I mean-
said exactly what I want to say, but probably better, honestly. I don't know why I have so much energy.
Because the song's hype, that's why.
True.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much more to add. It's a good song. It's zombified too, but a little bit less cringe.
Yep. That's an excellent way to
Yeah,
put it.
the lyrics are bearable.
I like how that's the bar we're at, is that the lyrics are bearable.
Let's move on to
Is
this
the
last song of
vocalist
the month.
isn't-
Yes, the Villa have dropped their new single, Bad For Me.
You're the poison in my brain. Just can't seem to stay away. Even though you're bad for me, bad for me, bad for me.
Which is their first since Turning Point in 2020, which also dropped, I believe, alongside Ritual Abuse. So this is, I don't know if he's the one necessarily who created the band, but the singer in this is Michael Bond, formerly of Woe Is Me and Issues, who is the Unclean vocalist. And they kicked him out of the band in 2018, I believe, because he wouldn't show up to band practice and refused to learn how to sing. And they wanted him to learn how to sing. Well, now, 4 years later, he's singing. And he's still doing uncleans. And quite honestly, like his cleans are whatever. You know, I mean, they're good. It's nothing. They're definitely an improvement for where they were at in Issues. Also, full disclaimer, that's my understanding of how he got kicked out of the band. I really don't know all the things. It's been a lot of years. I just remember being very disappointed that he was gone. But anyway, so the cleans are good. His uncleans still sound so fucking good, dude. I've missed them so much. This breakdown hits so hard. I love this. This is off of an upcoming EP in July, I believe. And I think we're getting... Yeah, July! Shout out July! And we're getting another song, I believe, before then. So we'll have another one for June, and then the EP's in July.
Let me say July.
I love
July. I love the song. I'm so happy that we've got new The Villa, and that Michael Bond's back, and that he sounds so good on all fronts. I'm happy. I'm a happy man with this song.
He's a happy man.
I'm a happy man. What say you guys? Are you happy men with this song?
I am. I like
Are you
the
an Are you an indifferent man?
I like the song.
An ambivalent man?
It's a little repetitive at points, but I like it.
Yeah, I kind of need like one or more new songs to really kind of stick with it.
I did not like his unclean vocals in Issues. I still don't. That is all.
That hurts me. That hurts. It's understandable, but it hurts me. How should I put this? What's the word? I'm empathetically disappointed. I think is how I'll put it.
Sound like a parent.
Is that
Disappointed
the new
but not
phrase?
surprised.
Is that the new phrase?
That's the one.
This is not pleasantly surprised, empathetically disappointed.
Empathetically disappointed, yeah.
How are we going to get that one?
title
How
for the month?
How are we going to get empathetically disappointed into all of our episodes from now on? That's a lot
Right.
harder than pleasantly surprised.
I think we just found the
We're up and up.
episode
We're up in the difficulty level on the podcast meter.
I think we need a song title for our upcoming EP.
Oh yeah.
Empathetically disappointed.
And pleasantly surprised could be like the interlude opener.
Yup. Oh, we're getting places now. Let's go. The
And then
lore is
there's just
expanding.
There's just a song of just incoherent text that's just supposed to be a stroke.
Why not make that the closer? Make that the closer.
Sure.
It's like the closer
No,
for that
it's-
Stand Atlantic
not.
album.
It's an interlude. It's an interlude.
Speaking of that Stand Atlantic album, let's talk about our one EP of the month, so we can talk about that Stand Atlantic album soon.
Now that sounds like you're disrespecting what EP we're about to talk with, so I'm going to need you to
he's
hold your
right.
horses. This is not a roadblock. This is a beautiful gold-plated stepping stone, and it needs to be treated as such.
I'm sorry for hurting your child.
Yeah, you better. Don't let it happen again.
I'll try.
Guardin
I won't.
has dropped. No. This deserves its own interrupted introduction.
This is the EP section of
This is the
podcast.
Guardin has dropped his newest EP called Long Story Short.
Make no mistakes, hear what I say. I hate myself. Oh shit, okay. I feel fucked up.
This is, I
An
think, wow.
Oh.
I mean, it's revolutionary stuff.
I'm coming
You're
out
gonna
with the
make
hot
some-
takes, guys. I know.
mean, it is revolutionary stuff, dude. I think this is my favorite EP ever.
What? Okay. So, of all the people to hear that from, I did not expect it to be you. I mean, like, not of all the people here, right? If I had to pick somebody, but favorite EP ever?
I think so.
Tell me why.
It's just. I
You
don't
have
know.
been
I
absorbed
just
by
love it, dude.
the spell of Guardin. Derek
It's
has his
in and out
wand,
quick. Like,
casting a spell on.
Everything is
mere
so
mortals.
catchy. Okay.
That's all.
Trying to explain.
I was just trying to make a funny joke.
Poor homie. Poor Jacob's trying to explain his love for his favorite EP of all time, and Jake's like, I'm gonna let you finish, but
I'll shut up now.
Continue, Jacob, my king. This is making me the happiest I've been all night.
I don't know. I think it's just lyrically, I love it. The way it sounds
Mm-hmm.
is amazing. It's quick and repeatable, I think, is the main thing.
Yeah.
Repeatable. You can just keep it going on over and over, and I don't get bored of it. I think that's got to be the main thing, actually, because I could listen to this forever. Like I've honestly listened to it forever. I think Mistakes is now my most played song of the year. I'm pretty sure I think I said it was my most played song of the year like 2 days after this was released.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Which is like, that means I listened to it like 80 times in 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna highlight some stuff like in light work. I think my favorite line is this music is my obsession. I'll do this shit every day until I reach my ascension. And then it's like, and then where is it? He says something about like music is how I heal. I don't know. I can't even find it now.
I know you got it. You've been doing it. Okay.
I can't find it.
You've got it. I believe in you. I want to echo your sentiment about light work and also say that I think that it's probably maybe the most mainstream in recent history that I think he sounded. You know, I get maybe almost Mac Miller-esque vibes from Lightwork more so than anything else I've heard from him. I think that in saying that, Lightwork is probably my least favorite song off the EP, but I've still listened to it like 80 times, and it's just incredible.
I think Haunted is my least favorite.
Okay, so Haunted's my favorite. So I love it, and I'll get into that later. But I want you to keep singing its praises because, like, for those of you listening, I'm the Guardin fanboy here, and I got Jacob into it, and now he's listing this as his favorite EP of all time, and just the smile on my face right now is like I'm unmitigated serotonin. So the more praises he sings, the happier I get. No pressure.
I found the lyric and then like
Go for it. Go for it.
I won't ever take a break because the music's how I heal. And then I ain't ever had my doubts. That's how you know that it's real. So it is.
Somebody just
horn in the
honk a car.
Way to interrupt the very intense
I think like
passion.
that line, like I won't ever take a break because music's how I heal. It's like me too, man. Me too.
You're right.
Not like making music, obviously, because I don't make music. But like music is what I go to when I'm upset about something or anything really. It's just like music is always there for me, and it's like, yeah, really relatable.
Well, and I think that that's something that I really appreciate about a lot of Guardin's music, and especially on this EP, is that there's always something for me in every song because he's unapologetically him. It feels like in all of his music, and he does what he wants to, and all the listeners are along for the ride. You know, he's just going to make the music that he wants and allow himself that creative freedom. And in doing so, it gives him the ability to express himself in whatever manner he feels like. And it feels so down to earth and personal and relatable on so many levels. I know one of his songs, Inside, I've been spinning a lot recently, you know. Just there's it feels like every era of the music that he puts out and whatever he focuses on, because I've been listening to him for what I think six years now. And just every time he puts out something, it feels like there's always one line for me to connect to. And I don't think I have that with any other artist. And that's what makes a lot of his music so special to me. I want to talk about Mistakes real quick. And I want you more so to talk about Mistakes. Can we talk about how fucking fire that beat is?
Yeah.
With the piano?
That's actually, what was it? Earthist, right?
Mm-hmm.
The piano, like when I first heard the Earthist song, I was like, this sounds like Mistakes. And then,
Yeah.
But it's, I think the beat is what carries the song for me, as well as the fucking depressing lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
And I've mentioned this before, but I think it's amazing how he can sound so bored yet emotional at the same time.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? No, it's you know, we had whatever phrase I coined before. I'm gonna say emotionally apathetic for this one, right? Like he cares and he doesn't, and it's there's nobody else doing it like him. I don't think I can't think of another artist that manages to convey that sort of, I guess, emotion would be a way to put it, or lack thereof. I want to shout out Haunted real quick. I think that the beat on, I mean, as incredible as that beat on Mistakes is with the flourishing piano, the way that he delivers his lines in Haunted to the beat when the beat doesn't really have anything punchy to it, the beat is very like flowy, and it feels like
hey,
his
hi, hello, it's me. How you doing?
yeah, exactly like that. But that in the same way that the beat just kind of feels like a wave kind of swaying back and forth, his vocal delivery like sways along with it. So it just feels like one where you close your eyes, like lean back in your chair and like kind of sway side to side a little bit. Like you can do it perfectly in tandem with the way that he's delivering the lyrics. And then I wanted to, speaking of the lyrics in that, let's see, where is it? Am I really here? Am I not? Is there anywhere that I ought to be? I ain't trying to stay here with these oddities, and honestly, it's kind of getting hard to breathe and hard to speak when barred with teeth, my tongue sitting in my mouth, but it's hard to speak. I'll fall asleep with every fragment haunting me. My dreams turn into nightmares when they're calling me. And, you know, I guess my interpretation of this song is that you're in your own head. You know, like he says in, I guess would be the chorus, is tripping over every thought. This ain't ever what you want, talking about like, you know, you don't want to be in your own head, but your head is a place that's haunted with bad thoughts and thinking too much.
Dove into the lyrics of this song, but now that you're like telling me about it, it's like I didn't even realize like the house is haunted is about his head.
I mean, it could not be. I could be entirely wrong, but that's the way that I interpret it.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, I just
also think something interesting that I found is this sounds more produced than what I normally hear from him. I could be wrong. And that threw me off at the beginning. And I was like, oh, I like it when it sounds more like raw.
But, yeah.
but it grew on me very quickly.
Yeah, I think it might just be maybe who he got his beats from or who's been producing it. I don't know if he maybe. I think I can't remember if he's self-producing the album or if he got help and outsourced it. I know some of the beats have been from this producer called Pokédex, and I don't know if they're also because I know he made like beats before he started getting into like emo rap and eventually, to the place where we are today. So I don't know if he's making his own beats here. I know there's a call out or a producer tag in Mistake, so I know I didn't do that one, but yeah, either way, it does sound a lot more crisp and clean and produced than a lot of his normal stuff. But in saying that, like you said, it didn't take me long to get used to it at all, and I love this equally as much as the rest of his music. I mean, I think I'm at like 70 or 80 liked songs by him at this point, and like in a year, we've discussed it multiple times, but in a year where it feels like EPs have been few and far between, and the ones that have come out, there have been a few, diamonds in the rough, but the rest have been kind of like or whatever. This to me is a huge shining star that,
yes,
like you said, because it's so easily replayable, and the 3 songs all feel like they're cohesive. It's all uniquely Guardin, but they all sound so different and have different vibes to them. It makes it so easy to just go back and listen to over and over again and not feel like you're getting bored with it. You can have it actively listening to it. You can have it in the background doing whatever you're doing at the time, working, out, shopping, whatever. It's very much a any time, any place type of EP, but it's also one that you can sit down and listen to think about your current situation or your headspace. It's so multifaceted, and there's just, I've got artists like Dance Gavin Dance and Emarosa that I love listening to, but there is no artist quite like Guardin that can make me sit down with any given song, and especially this EP, and say, I can listen to this when I'm sad. I can listen to this when I'm feeling, I want to reflect on things. I can listen to this when I just want to vibe. I can do this when I'm hyped. Like, his discography is so diverse, and I think this EP does a great job of reflecting all of what he can do. And yeah, I mean, it's just incredible stuff. I'm so happy with this. I'm so excited to have this to chew on as a prelude to the album, which I believe is coming out. I thought it was coming out late July, but he mentions in Light Work, or no, it's Mistakes, that the album's coming out in August, I believe.
Yes.
So, late July, August, whenever. At most, I got to wait another 2 months, and I'm happy if this is what I have in the meantime to listen to, because this is just incredible.
Yeah, we'll be talking about this again. I can tell you that for sure.
Yeah, we will most certainly be talking about this again. All right, Jake, you spent long enough hearing us sing our praises about Guardin. Let's all sing our praises about something else, shall we?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea to me. Stand Atlantic finally dropping their brand new album, Fuck Everything and Run, aka f.e.a.r.
Oh, that's what it stands for.
Body parts get me out the door, like I wanna cut the ties with a blunt. So tell me why you love me, 'cause I've gone for
Yep, that's what it stands for. Fuck Everything and Run. Ah, man. For the first time since Wolves at the Gate, I am excited. Like, I am truly excited to talk about an album.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just, there's been some good albums this year, but the top tier, the ones that are contending for the end of the year, they've been a little shy in the first half of 2022. Stand Atlantic coming out with a lock, I'm pretty sure at this point. This shit's incredible.
Yeah, I would echo that this is also probably a lock for me. And I would put it maybe in the same vein as I guess we'll talk about it next month kind of thing. But that it's I put it in the same vein as a Memphis Mayfire, where it's just fun and you can't not listen to it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not drawn in maybe necessarily by the lyricism in the same way that I was, Death of Peace of Mind, maybe, or, I'm kind of spoiling my top 10 albums of the year here so far, but
I think I spoiled my top EPs already, so.
Yeah. But that, like with Dreamwake, where I want to go back and I want to hear like the sax solos and everything like that. Whereas with this, I'm drawn back to this simply because it is so fucking fun and entertaining and bouncy to listen to. And the fact that they contain so much of that in a longer track list but a shorter runtime draws me back in to be able to replay it over and over and over again. I gotta know, Jake. We sung some high praise about the singles, and I don't remember if you echoed my sentiment that I had on the first night that we listened to this, where I was like, I'm really glad the second half of the album kind of picked it up because it seemed like it was very single focused, I guess would be a way to put it. Like it was a single heavy album. Given a month to sit with it, how do you feel about the singles versus the non-singles? Do you have any new favorites?
The singles are still generally my favorite on here. However, there is one glaring exception.
I think we all know what it is.
Cabin Fever.
Yeah.
Yep.
That song... Cabin Fever is the first proper holy shit moment I've had this entire year. When that breakdown comes in out of nowhere, when that breakdown starts building out of nowhere, I am just like, hello, Stand Atlantic, hello, are you okay?
Right.
Like, are you guys okay? And then it hits, and pop punk bands can make better breakdowns than half of the metalcore bands I listen to, I guess. Fuck it.
Yep.
I was so blown away by that to a point where it is half of my top 5 most played songs of the year right now are consisted of half Bad Omens and half Stand Atlantic.
You know what? It's funny you say that because I think mine are too, and it's literally my top 4. Let me double check. Spoiling my top songs of the year right now. Yeah, of my top 5, 2 are Bad Omens and 2 are Stand Atlantic.
Yeah, and
so
I think yeah. Cabin Fever, to come at the end of the album, too, I think is so important because it follows the weakest stretch of songs on the album, in my opinion, with Nails from the Back, Blood Clot, and XO. I'm discounting Don't Talk to Me because I've actually gone back to that song a fair bit. But Nails from the Back, Blood Clot, and XO are the 3 songs that have not fully clicked with me yet. I think they're all fun. Whenever I hear them, they're great. Like that chorus in Blood Clot is fantastic. Nails from the Back probably the most underwhelming. And XO is just fun like usual. But to go from like the insane streak of songs of Dumb, Hair Out, Death Wish, and Switchblade to 4 songs that are kind of all more underwhelming to then end with Cabin Fever into Molotov. The brutal energy, the fast pace, the BPM of those 2 songs to end this album blew me away. And then you get I Wonder What Kind of Garlic Bread They Get at Mensa.
They have at Mensa.
Shout out
Stand Atlantic.
Stand Atlantic do Stand Atlantic things. Cabin Fever is an absolutely incredible song. Not my favorite song on the album, but it's damn close at this point. That type of trap beat that the song opens up with, typically not something that I vibe with, but similar to Last Cigarette by Mothica that we talked about at the beginning of this episode, it works for me, and it worked for me with Mothica. It is excelling for me with Cabin Fever right here. Just, as I said, the first proper holy shit moment that I've had this year. And in comparison, the few other holy shit moments that I have experienced consist of The Breakdown Goes Boom by Amaranth and Caskets with the final say where Matt just belts out Can You Hear Me before the forced chorus.
Yeah.
Like those are the Cabin Fever is one of those moments. The first time I hear that song, that I'm not going to have a reaction like that on first listen for months.
Yeah,
unless June 10th has anything to say about it.
Right.
But it's really just something special. And I've spent so much time just talking about that one song that I need to double back to that streak of Dumb, Hair Out, Death Wish, and Switchblade.
Just so stupid good.
It's maybe the best streak of 4 songs I have heard all year. And yes, that includes a Bad Omens album that I heard back in February.
Yeah.
Stand Atlantic are my favorite pop punk band by quite a long shot at this point. No one's particularly close. I don't know who would even be fighting for second at this point.
See, it's interesting that you say that because I know who's fighting for second, and it's with Confidence, and they're on tour together, and I'm seeing them on Friday. So like, no, I don't think there is a single band except maybe Bad Omens to continue to talk about them during our Stand Atlantic review that is so demonstrably better with every single album release. Like,
yeah.
the progression of Skinny Dipping to Pink Elephant was like leaps and bounds. Like, Stand Atlantic, they came in 2018 showing off that they can make really good pop punk, they're just like every other pop punk band. And then 2020, they come in with Pink Elephant, which was a top 10 album of the year for both of us. Was it top 5 for you as well?
Top 10. I think it was like 7
top
or 8
10
for me.
Yeah, it was 5 or 6 for me. Jacob, did that make your top 10 that year? I can't remember.
Which, sorry?
Pink Elephant by Stand Atlantic? No, it was All Time Low that made yours.
It was All Time Low, yeah.
And then, that one that felt like they were coming into their own. With this truly I know it's not a self-titled, but it almost feels like it because this feels like such a statement of we can do whatever the fuck we want. Something like Don't Talk to Me feels to me like a With Confidence song. XO sounds like Don Broco. I'm gonna be honest. I heard it the first night, and it's just been reinforced ever since.
That might explain why XO has been one of the more underwhelming songs on this album.
I love it, bro. I think it's so good. The fact that they can get something like, they've got the normal type of, Royal and the Serpent. I would expect that type of feature. Nothing Nowhere, I guess, makes sense as he transitions over into his pop punk side of thing. They can get a fucking Tom the Mailman feature on a pop punk song. Tom the Mailman, by the way, an R&B artist, and make it work as well as they do and create a song that's that good. I think it's very hard sometimes for pop punk bands to make an album of this track length that feels so consistently fresh, both in terms of in the scope of the genre and on a song-to-song basis, and Stand Atlantic have nailed it in spades. I don't think there's a single bad song on here. There's not one that I don't have saved. And it seems like with every listen, the ones that I felt more ambivalent on, I grow to love more and more in their own unique identity, in the same way that I felt myself doing with that With Confidence album last year that ended up landing it at my number 2 spot. And I felt the same way about that With Confidence album, where it felt like every song had its own identity and the band was making a statement of we transcend the pop punk genre, we can do whatever we want and make it work. Stand Atlantic's doing that same thing, but almost, I wouldn't say even almost, they're doing it better. Like you said, with Cabin Fever introducing something like a trap beat and her going into more of like the screaming side of the punkier side of things with like basically a fucking breakdown, right? Like
it is a breakdown. It has the build.
No other pop punk band and very few bands in the scene in general have demonstrated the same level of versatility and talent that Stand Atlantic can do. And I also think something that I noticed is that there is, I believe, only 2 or 3 songs on here that are 3 minutes or more.
Most of them are pretty short. Most of them fall under that 3-minute time.
And I think that's part of the appeal, is that they pack so much of that into that short amount of time so that it's more easily digestible. I mean, I think it's a 13 or 14 track album that comes in under 40 minutes. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I think that they picked perfect features for this, including her mom. Because, again, we got to have some quirky, quintessential pop punkiness in there, and I think they do it well. I mean, it's just a modern-day pop punk masterpiece, A lot of people say that about stuff like Neck Deep or whatever, and I don't like that style of pop punk. I like this. This blends the pop and punk aspects perfectly to define the genre. I would say that, to me, they're doing pop punk better than any other band right now, and this is also a genre-defining album. And I love them for it. I think that this is perfect.
I think I'm inclined to agree with that. I did want to make a funny joke, and Stand Atlantic said "fuck everything" and run from creating stereotypical pop punk, because they have certainly demonstrated that. You will be hard pressed to find another band that can create songs like Death Wish and Cabin Fever and Molotov on the same album.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a phenomenal testament to how talented the band is and to what you can do with a genre that, might be considered, this is a boring, overdone, overused genre. I'm looking at you, Machine Gun Kelly, making stuff that sounds like Blink-182 did. You can be creative with it, and Stand Atlantic proves that with this album.
Absolutely. I think the one thing I haven't really got to touch on yet at this point is Doomsday, the opening track. Which I wasn't that big a fan of at first listen. The opening guitar riff just felt a little, in pop punk fashion, it felt a little cheesy to me.
Yeah.
It put a stupid smirk on my face when I heard it, not in like a good way.
Mm-hmm.
And then the more I heard it, the more I kind of got into it, and I started bouncing around to that riff, and I'm like, yeah, this is an awesome opening track. And then you end the album with Cabin Fever and Molotov in the 40-second. I wonder what kind of
garlic bread with Mensa, yeah.
And it's just like, the one knock that I could give against this album is that there were the three songs, Nails from the Back, Blood Clot, and XO, were kind of underwhelming but still really good. And then Doomsday just kind of being an average opener. But a few weeks removed from this album, I think Doomsday is an incredible opener. And it sets up what to expect for the rest of the album. And it's now one of my favorite tracks on here, which again isn't saying very much, given that it's probably only my sixth favorite song on here. But there's so much to like about this album. Highly recommend. Stand Atlantic are doing. They are defining pop punk. They are in the same way that Bring Me the Horizon are kind of carrying the flag forward with what like post-hardcore and metalcore and like whatever the genre, whatever the fuck Bring Me the Horizon do. They always feel like they're one step ahead of the curve. Stand Atlantic are in that same spot, but with pop punk. And people, I don't think, realize that yet. If you're not paying attention to this band, you need to be. Yeah. There needs to be more people talking about this band. And, this really proves why. I think that'll just about do it for that album. Fantastic album. Got two more albums to talk about, though. Conveniently, all three of these albums we're talking about this month released on the very same day. So we've had the entire month to sit on all three of these. Let's talk about Silverstein, who dropped their brand new album, Misery Made Me. Oh Lord, I wish that I could quit, but the idol in the middle tends to rule with the fist of my... Also known as the album with Misery number 1. This is Misery number 1. Yeah. This is Misery number 1.
Tune in next month for Misery number 2.
Yeah. So I had the advantage of seeing Silverstein open for Beartooth a week before this album came out. They didn't perform all of the singles. They performed It's Over, Ultraviolet, and Bankrupt, I believe. And they didn't tease any songs live at the end of the tour. But they put on a really good performance, and it got me more excited for this album, which I was already a lot more excited for compared to A Beautiful Place to Drown. The last single that they dropped for this album, In Die Alone, was not doing it for me. It still isn't. But that's the only song I don't really like on this album. I think the rest of this album holds up really well. Even the feature of Mike Kranek of The Devil Wears Prada on slow motion, with The Devil Wears Prada being a band that I'm not particularly a fan of. I think the feature works out great. The Nothing Nowhere feature works out great on Live Like This at the end. Trevor Daniel is there on Cold Blood, I guess. But yeah, this is a really strong album. I'd say this met my expectations going in. I never expected Silverstein to be making a grand run for like one of my favorite albums of the year, but I expected something that I would listen to front to back and be like, that was a good album. I got a couple of songs I'm taking away from here that I'm going to have in rotation for a while. It's going to get stuck in my head. It's not going to be making end of year type stuff. But I'm gonna be really glad that I gave this a listen, and a month removed from it, I am. There's a lot to like about this album, I think.
I will say that I think that Silverstein have perfected a formula for me personally. And it's that they're going to put out an album consistently that I think is incredibly okay.
Yeah.
And then somewhere along the line, they're going to say, all right, I want to drop 2 bangers on this track list.
True.
And then I'm going to take those bangers and I'm going to sit on them for years and love them to death and forget about the rest of the album.
So what are the 2 bangers here then?
100% true.
They are back-to-back on this album, and it is The Altar/Mary and Slow Motion.
Interesting.
I also like Bankrupt is okay.
I was going to say Slow Motion Bankrupt for me.
Yeah, I had Bankrupt saved for a long time actually, and for whatever reason recently it just unclicked with me, I guess would be a way to put it. I don't know why.
Dude, Bankrupt is so good live. If you ever get the chance,
it seems like a song.
If you ever get the chance to see Silverstein like open, like seeing Silverstein, like I probably wouldn't go see Silverstein headline, but having them open for Banshee, like absolutely, I'm gonna go and see that. Right. Bankrupt live is so good. It is so good. That's all.
I just wanted to say that I think, for me, what it is a lot with the vocal delivery oftentimes sounds very samey, I guess, for me. And so I have to kind of pick and choose my favorites. And the ones that end up being my favorites are the ones with a really good feature or that sound different from all the others. There is not a single song on here that sounds like The Altar. I mean, it's its own special entity, and I was very excited to hear it. And in Slow Motion, you have
up The Altar because it's not on the same level of holy shit moment as Cabin Fever, but that song threw me for a loop the first time I heard it. I was halfway through that song thinking this is like potentially a top 10 song of the year.
Yeah,
I think if The Altar/Mary, instead of like going from like insane, Silverstein chose violence for the first 2 minutes, and then Silverstein chose sleep for the last 2 minutes. If you have a structure that goes from violence to like a calm break and then you build back up to violence, we're talking a top 10 song of the year with The Altar, I think.
You know, now you say that, I'm going to recommend you Gods by Sleep Token.
It's on my to eventually listen to list.
We'll get there one day.
We're close to a year removed from what's that album called?
This Place Will Be Your Tomb.
Whatever. Yeah, we're getting close to the 1 year of that album, so I think it's about time I probably try and fit Sleep Token into my schedule of albums to catch up to. But anyway, The Altar is a fantastic song, and I'm glad that's one of the 2 that really stuck with you.
Yeah, I guess I'm just something about Silverstein's delivery. I applaud them for being this far into their career and being still so solid. I feel like a lot of times, because they're over 2 decades into their career at this point, and a lot of bands get
20-year
tour. 20-year tour. I was gonna say that I feel like a lot of bands get to this point and their ability to create something new and dynamic kind of fades out, I guess. But with Silverstein, with something like The Altar, it feels like there's always 1 or 2 songs on an album, on their newer albums, that still push those boundaries, and they're still doing what they do best. If you liked Silverstein before and were a Silverstein fan, this is just another one in the books that you can add like 1 million songs to your playlist from. Unfortunately, I'm not a huge Silverstein fan, so it's not doing it for me, but I got my 2 songs, and that's all I wanted out of this, so I'm happy with it. Justin, I know you have liked a lot of Silverstein in the past. What are your favorites?
Did you have it in top 10 in 2020?
I believe it did. I believe it was like number 10.
Yeah, cracked my top 10 back in 2020. It is not going to hit it this year, unfortunately. A lot of what I liked about A Beautiful Place to Drown, I really did not get with this album, unfortunately.
Yeah.
A lot of what I liked from that was more kind of electronic, more experimental stuff.
Mm-hmm.
From that album, I had saved "Where Are You," "Shapeshift," "Madness," and "Say Yes." And I really didn't get anything that really sounded similar. It was kind of more the harsher kind of punky side that I'm not too big a fan of. But hey, what are you gonna do?
Right. Well, you can't expect it to to always get that, but you've got that album. I've got my two songs. That's the thing about getting an album that you enjoy from an artist and getting a bad one. It's like, well, even if they don't release a good one, you've always got the other one to go back to, right? Like,
well, the problem is that I'm probably gonna be 2 for 2 for punky bands that I really liked in 2020 for some fucking reason. Point North, sad Point North noises.
Yeah. You know what? Sad Point North is for me too. It's okay.
I think the last thing I kind of want to touch on is the transition at the end of the album from Live Like This into Misery. The two tracks transitioned like perfect transition from one into the other, super smooth. And I'm not typically a fan of like super slow kind of piano ballad-esque songs to close an album, but Misery actually worked for me. Something about, I don't know, I think there's something about like the story that the album was telling. Not that I have any idea on what the story is, but I had a sense of when I got to Misery, I was like finishing something. And it felt like a very satisfying conclusion to an album to me. I also really just enjoyed Live Like This as a song in general. So back-to-back albums with Nothing Nowhere features, actually.
The Nothing Nowhere feature. I think it was really good. I wish the song it was on was better, but I digress.
I think the only other thing I want to mention, I know I talked about it with Ultraviolet back in, I want to say it was February when that song came out, but the lyricism on Ultraviolet is still really solid. I still really enjoy the chorus of can't see with my own eyes, can't feel the lows or the highs, doesn't stop when I try to fight it, I get lost in the ultraviolet. And then the second half with can I rewire my head when all the connections are dead. Just there's a lot of like cool lyrical ties in Ultraviolet that I really appreciated, and that's why Ultraviolet's still my favorite song on this album. It was very hard to pick a favorite off of this album. With A Beautiful Place to Drown, I had very clearly Infinite as my favorite. Whereas with this album, there isn't a clear standout for me. The Alter Mary is, like, it blew me away on first listen, but it's not something I can have on repeat, necessarily, just in the way that it's structured. And then all the other songs that are in that conversation, I mean, it's mostly just Bankrupt and Ultraviolet. There isn't anything that's really selling me more about one than the other. Like, you could kind of flip a coin and say, hey, Bankrupt's my favorite song on the album one day, Ultraviolet's my favorite another day. But I think that just goes to show like the consistency that Silverstein are bringing to the table with this album, which might not be everyone's favorite, but it worked for me at the very least more than it did on A Beautiful Place to Drown. And that leaves us with one final album for the month. We have the debut album from Windwaker, Love Language. Now, Justin, I'm curious to start with you here. So I remember that you really enjoyed Glow. We talked about, I want to say, was it last month or was it March?
I think it was March.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Okay.
March sounds right.
You seemed to be the one that was the most intrigued with this band, and I was interested. Now that we've got the full album here, what are we thinking?
Had so much potential.
This is a Justin band if I've ever seen one.
It had so much potential, especially after Glow, but a lot of the songs I feel like just don't hit the same resonating note that Glow hit when that released. And
I'm with you, just on different songs, I think. The two songs that have really stuck with me are Superstitious Fantasy and Nighthawk. But I am with you that this album had so much potential, and for whatever reason, it's not hitting with me. It's not connecting with me in the way that I was hoping it would. Because really, like, there isn't a lot bad going on here. Like, I can't say that, like, the lyricism or the vocals are necessarily bad on any of the songs here. It's just not clicking with me. It feels very experimental at times, with songs like Dopamine Freestyle and Trenches and Love Language being a lot slower of a song. So it definitely sets them up for, like, to try and find more of their identity in a future album, because they're clearly capable of doing a lot. But I'm not fully feeling a lot of that experimentation, so I'm still very curious to hear more from this band, because there's definitely potential. I really like Superstitious Fantasy and Nighthawk, and those two songs are pretty different from each other. I want this band to refine their sound more, given that this is just a debut album, and I don't know what else to say other than just to refine their sound, to try and make something a little bit more cohesive, whereas this feels kind of just like, here's everything that we can do, enjoy, I guess. I don't know. It feels like it's missing something to connect it all together for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I really liked the post-hardcore sound that Glow gave, but you're right in that just everything else sounded pretty experimental. Really didn't have a cohesion that brought me back to the rest of the package.
This is a band that I want to like a lot more than I do right now, and it's frustrating. I also don't think that this band was dealt any favors by releasing on the same day as Stand Atlantic and Silverstein. Two albums which I was significantly more anticipated for when it dropped. So it definitely did kind of fall to the wayside of my anticipation of those two albums. But I think even with going back to some of the songs that I wasn't as big of a fan of, it's not clicking with me. And I know that this band can click with me because they have on a handful of songs here. Derek, Jacob, do you guys skim through this at all?
I did not get a chance to listen to this, and I was hoping that you would sell me. And now I'm left kind of iffy, because I don't feel like I've been sold.
Let me try and get a little bit more specific on what you're going to see from this album, then. You get that Glow-esque sound on tracks like Beautiful and Lucy and Glow. You get Trenches, which is just a brutal beatdown. Superstitious Fantasy and Dopamine Freestyle are both kind of metalcore with clean parts. Dopamine Freestyle is definitely very experimental. Love Language is more of like an emotionally driven love song in a way. And then Hide and Seek and The Rain are there at the end of the album. I don't really remember what either of them sound like, even though they're in my playlist. They're more of the same of what you get from the rest of the album. So there is a lot of variety here, and it can be appealing to some people. And I wouldn't be surprised that if you were to have given this album a listen before, then you might be a lot higher on it than Justin or I would be.
Yeah, Derek, I'm curious to see what you in particular think about it. Jacob, I don't think you're going to really...
I mean, it's in my listen later, so I'm going to get around to it eventually, but I was kind of hoping,
I'm sure.
you know, that if today was the day that it would be like, okay, I need to expedite it to the top rather than just going by the date that I added it to my playlist on, you know, but I'll check it out. I'm intrigued by the experimentation. We'll see where it goes.
Is that a wrap?
I think that's about a wrap for us.
May is done. And
what a
that
good
signifies
month
to me is the start of chaos.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
June and July are looking fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Like
unreal.
I don't think in the 4 or 5 years that I've been listening to this music, to rock and metal as a genre, that I've ever seen a June and July that look this stacked.
It's kind of ridiculous.
So if you're still here at the end of this episode, be sure to stay tuned for the next 2 monthly recaps, because there is some heat coming right in time for the warm weather that the summer brings.
Yeah, just
lots of fantastic albums.
Nuts ass next 2 months.
Even some actual EPs have started to drop.
Can you believe it?
Jake, I know you and Jacob live in Upper North, but me and Derek don't need more heat.
Yeah,
Need to
no.
slow down.
Honestly, we don't need heat here either, so.
Yeah,
I wasn't saying that I
know.
necessarily want more heat. I'm just saying it's coming.
Brace yourselves.
Oh.
There was a lot of good stuff this month. It's only going to get crazier from here. And that is exciting, but also terrifying.
Yeah. Say that again.
Yeah. I don't know if there's too much more to say. As you were saying, Derek, solid month of music. Particularly a lot of the singles delivering from smaller bands on the rise. And I feel like that's been a trend throughout most of this year, and I think that's going to continue to be a trend throughout the rest of 2022. If you want to keep up to date on social media, you can follow at Hivemind Radio _ on Instagram and Twitter. Follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can listen to the monthly recap episodes live, hang out in the chat with us, discuss the music as we're discussing it live. And yeah,
We
that's
had a
about
lot
all I
of
got.
turnouts today in the chat, eh?
Yeah.
We did have more turnout in the chat today than usual, so get in there. We'll be watching.
I think that about does it.
Any last words, guys?
No, all I see is it was nice knowing you boys. We're gonna die in June and July.
I'm
Stay strong.
scared.
Have faith.
Well, to all you listeners out there, we'll see you on the other side. Have a good one. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.